Hello, my astrology family. This is Lada from astrolada.com, and these are your December 2022 video horoscopes. So first, do a general prediction for all the signs worldwide, what December will bring, and then we'll go into the 12 months. We're using tropical zodiac. Check your sun, moon, and ascendant if you know them all. If not, at least just the moon and the sun. Then also, there's timestamps and you can jump just on your sign, but I advise you to listen to the beginning because it's relevant for everyone. It describes worldwide and personally the general influences. And by the way, don't forget that my 2023 video horoscopes, 2.5 hours for each sign, are out with the most important events for extremely low price, $20 for every sign, or a package of your sun, moon, and ascendant for the price of two. And my 2023 calendar is also out, which is 120 pages, everything that happens of the year ahead astrologically. All right, let's see. First of all, let me tell you there is very good news for December because there are no big, very stressful aspects, just one, which is the new moon around the 7th, 8th of December, which will be stressful, full moon, but everything else is very positive because, first of all, at the beginning of the month, Venus is becoming visible in the sign of Sagittarius. Venus was invisible for 2-3 months almost. And as you can see also worldwide, peace is not coming. When Venus disappears, it's the planet of peace, of negotiations, and it's been tough. Actually, the hostilities escalated, where the war is happening. But now Venus will appear from the beginning of December, even the last week of November. It might be noticed in your personal life and in the world, which is a sign that there might be some attempts of negotiations at peace or some agreements that are happening. And in your personal life, this is extremely positive because something new, Venusian, will be born in your lives. And we'll speak about everyone, what on a personal level, according to their sun, moon, or ascendant. But collectively and personally as well, Venus being born in Sagittarius will be a fantastic month, especially the beginning, to anything Venusian. Anything Venusian would be anything to do with fashion, with buying valuables or selling valuables, of getting better price for something, for making financial decisions of some sort, because Venus rules money and investments, and recognizing the value of something, but especially it will be good, something new, monetary or financial, entering your life, or something new of value. Plus, it can be the birth of love, or a loving relationship for someone, or a renewal of their love life. Because Venus, especially for the fire signs, they might feel it very strongly, or Gemini, because Venus is in the 7th from there, but they can be the birth of something new that they love. Is not necessarily always physical relationship. Sometimes it can be the birth of a new friendship. Sometimes it can be, especially with a woman, but there is love there. The birth, for some of you, it might be the birth of something to do with career, with depending on what houses it activates for you. But the birth of Venus is an incredible and beautiful event that happens just once in 18 months. Something new, a Venusian quality will be born in your life. Money, love, peace of some sort, healing, improvement, something that has value, something that makes you happy, something that gives you pleasure, something that gives you more self-worth, something connected to beauty as well. And Mercury will also, let me just share something with you. Here is the calendar. By the way, I am also already selling the 2023 calendar, and this is the 2022 December calendar. For every month, it includes all the months, and it's interactive. Whenever you click on the day, it sends you exactly to the description of everything. But let's check. Venus is becoming visible on December the 2nd. Relationships start to improve. It is easier to achieve agreements and cooperation. It is good time to start relationships and collaborations, to sign agreements. if you want to sign contracts, if you want to start some partnership, business or personal, if you want to find someone to be on your side, if you want to start new artistic projects, new creative project, anything to do with beauty, are you going to do your hair? Are you going to do makeup? Are you going to buy new clothes? Yes, 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 yes to all of those things. But I'm not going to do all the transits. You can look at them if you have the calendar, or, we just don't have the time for this. But there is something else important that is happening, and that's the new moon in Gemini. This is quite an explosive new moon. I think that's the most stressful period, around the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, around the full moon in Gemini, 3 days before, 3 days after, you can feel it very strongly. But it also means that the next 15 days can be more intense. So this full moon in Gemini is exactly conjunct Mars to the degree at 16-degree Gemini. Anyone who is Sagittarius, Gemini, Pisces, or Virgo sun, moon, or rising in the middle degrees from 10 to 20 degrees, they are going to feel it very stressful, more intensely. Again, it doesn't have to be negative. It can really, Mars full moon with Mars exactly can spur you into action to get things done, especially because it's a full moon. You can complete something very fast, like I'm saying here, as you can read. You can basically, you can end the project, complete something, and things can move very fast. But for everyone around, you can notice that people are more quarrelsome, that people are faster to say words that they regret after that, because it's happening in Gemini, that people are more with their words like arrows almost. And sometimes it's exactly what we need. Sometimes you might be the one, some of you might be the one that are using your words like arrows to make things, because Mars is the general, organized, bam, 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 come on, get things done. Look where your mistake is. And Mars is retrograde. So you're seeing something that is wrong and you're correcting it and you are acting fast on it. And of course, that can be stressful. Finding out something that is wrong, having to correct it, having to think fast on your feet, having a plan B, C, because Gemini, where it's happening, it's also the sign of planning, of management, of lists and schedules and such kind of stuff. So you have to be very fast on your feet to reorganize yourself, to correct something. Of course, arguments can pick up easily, hopefully resolved fast too, because it is, Mars, it's a fast planet, but it's retrograde. So you have to be a bit more careful around those days. You can get a lot of work done, especially work that you started earlier and you haven't finished. You can complete it because Mars is retrograde, it's a full moon, and fix it and correct it and, carry on. But of course, it's a full moon. It's an opposition between sun and moon. So it immediately entails the notion of relationship. It's 118 degrees, me versus you. So it might be stressful for certain relationships, personal, business, associates, with siblings, especially with neighbors, with classmates, with mates. But even people that are in relationships, in communication, there can be some confrontation or something that is brought to the surface that's been bothering you, but it kind of explodes a bit like a volcano that's been bothering you, and you can't keep it up anymore, but it comes up in communications in some way. But of course, Gemini is also the sign of communication, the internet, media, social media. There can be some breakups there. There can be some kind of very pivotal decisions taken and made for social media, for any kind of currency exchanges, because Gemini rules exchanges, trading, and such kind of rules and regulations that are changed in regards to trading, to exchanges, anything Geminian. Of course, that can be tying it in, might be something that comes up about regulations about digital currencies and exchange of digital currencies and how you can exchange it and use it. It can be also some kind of change in rules, because Gemini rules, human-made rules connected to social media, that some decision is taken, maybe because some event transpires that is kind of It might be some kind of like problems, for example, with hacking, problems with personal data, leaks, problems connected to anything to do with social media. Watch out around that time, and they can be pushed towards certain corrections because Mars is retrograde, doing it to correct it, to make it safer, to make it somehow to perfect it. I don't know, whatever reasons they give, but they can be first some stressful crisis event connected to that, or something event connected to media, social media, news, that escalates and things turn around and start taking different direction, and is the focus for the next, I would say, because it's a full moon, maybe around the beginning of December, when it comes around the 7th, maybe a few days before, and for the next 2 weeks, some explosive news, maybe. And you have to be more careful on a personal level with media, phones, communications. They might be under attack, or like losing, breaking, dropping, something, some device, for example, or collectively, there can be some important situations around that. Of course, this is the Sun opposition Mars, the peak of this Mars retrograde. So some important events with this Mars retrograde are happening to correct something, to some out of the blue situation that is tense. And again, as I say, the mutable signs will feel this the strongest. And then we have Venus entering Capricorn. We're not going to talk about that, but Mercury becomes visible on December 25th. This is extremely important. So a week before that, and when a planet becomes visible, it rules for 14 days the period, like ancient astrology tells us. So for Venus becoming visible around the 1st, 2nd of December, it means the last 7 days of November, the first 7 days, 8 days of December, Venus rules the period. So it's very beneficial for anything Venusian, for love, But then Mercury becomes visible on December the 14th, just for 10 days. Mercury is very rarely visible because it's too close to the sun. But when it isn't, the rare people who are born with Mercury visible are usually extremely smart and good communicators and learn fast, good salespeople and so on. But Mercury, what does it rule? It rules sales, trading, business, communication, writing, publishing. So Mercury becoming visible, those 10 days, so I would say even not 10, but from a week before the 14th, so after the 8th, 9th, till the 25th, the whole period. So from basically after the first week of December, almost till the last day of December, till the 25th, Mercury is very powerful. It rules the period. It's visible. It's fantastic time, maybe to release anything to do with media. Even though, I think Mercury becoming visible will smooth out and mitigate this new moon Mars with Mars energy. But it becomes visible around the 14th, but it's already in power 7 days before. So it can also, just to tie it in with the full moon in Gemini, which brings a lot of mercurial energy, can be great to, to do something very already to start it after the full moon, but something that you've been working on already as well, to put it out there, communication, writing, speaking, some business project, plan, marketing idea. It's when Mercury becomes visible, especially around of course, for everyone in the world, Mercury becomes visible at different times. Depends on visibility of the air, depends on, your latitude, longitude, but it's calculated here for approximately for the states. For Washington, northern states, maybe 2-3 days, 4-5 days difference in different parts of the world, but around the middle of December, fantastic to release a mercurial project, writing, speaking, marketing, advertising, communication, media, some videos. By the way, this exactly a week before Mercury becomes visible, we're starting our astrology marathon, so you'll get a lot of free information for 2023. Stay tuned, join us. I think with some of the best astrologers that I know who I've invited. So this is our gift to you for 2023, very mercurial news information, but you can apply Mercury becoming visible on a personal level for you, maybe taking exams, maybe doing some important report, business plan, some important sales transactions, arrangement of something, management of something, initiating and starting anything mercurial, writing, speaking, organizing, planning of any sorts, travels. Fantastic. Mercury becomes visible on the day that we're traveling to the States to visit family. Fantastic. So if you have travels to do, maybe not exactly on the full moon. The 7th, the 8th is more stressful for travel because it's with Mars. There can be something breaking down, some other kind of shock or surprise or aggravation, but especially after the 10th, things start becoming much easier. And Venus, but especially now when Mercury starts becoming visible from December, the 10th even already. Fantastic time for travels or even buying cars, transportation of any sort. And then the other big event is that around December the 20th, Jupiter will enter Aries. Jupiter was already in Aries from May till October, the end, and now it's entering back. So people will fill up with energy, with more optimism collectively. You will feel it as well, especially fire signs, but everyone feels when Jupiter enters a fire sign because the optimism starts going bigger. People start believing more in themselves. And that's a great ending for the end of the year. We need to end on a more positive bang energy. Of course, manufacturing, military, industrial complex can benefit and grow from this transit. It started was it in May or April already somewhere? It's been growing. I mean, the amount of guns and weapons, who's benefited the most? Not the people who are killed from that. It's the ones making them. Unfortunately, it has a dark side too, but people having heroic spirit and, of course, making people more belligerent, people willing to stand up for themselves, people willing. Aries is the sign of the knight in shining armor. You'd see people doing heroic acts on a mass level to protect or to fight for some cause they believe in. It also will trigger the entrepreneurial spirit of people to initiate new businesses, physical. People will get to feel more physically like exercising. People will start feeling more like doing something big and feeling the motivation, the energy, and the drive. And this will carry on till the middle of May 2023. So rare opportunity, especially for the fire signs. If you have Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or a few planets in Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, wow, this is your time to shine, guys. Things will start moving ahead. Great opportunities will come, but overall, everyone will have more energy. Everyone will find it easier to fight off colds and viruses because heat, this is the fire, burns it off. Almost everyone will feel this fire inside of them, this glow that starts coming. And impulsiveness as well. And then there is a new moon in Capricorn on the December 23rd, around that time exactly at 1 degree of Capricorn. So that happens on the day of the winter solstice. And the day of the winter solstice determines what's happening in the next 3 months. Astrologically. So on that day, we have a new moon, new beginnings. People will feel like some kind of a renewal, that things are changing, that it's becoming very different, especially because it's happening on the equinox. Winter solstice, sorry, Saturnalia, whatever. So this is the birth of new hope normally, but with it, it's square Jupiter. So it had Jupiter in Aries. So it's a new moon, which is new beginnings, new hope. Jupiter is actually very hopeful and positive planet. Even though it's a hard aspect, the only difficulties is because it's a square, it might be a little bit too grand or not too realistic, whatever plans or ideas are born, but something big will be born for many of us, especially connected to Capricorn, where the new moon is happening, for more practical matters. And they can see this starting to take shape over the whole of till the 20th of January approximately, because the new moon sets the tone for the next 30 days till the middle or end of January, but something will be born in the hearts of people with a more practical nature, and it will very optimistic. It will give them hope, optimism, but as I said, they might be not a bit too realistic, or it might be too grand, or they might be missing some details, but it doesn't make it bad. Whatever comes as an inspiration. Maybe it's just some things are overlooked, but it doesn't make it bad. It will still bring this optimism and positive twist of the mind. And of course, it's exactly around the festive period. This new moon will give a tendency to overdo things, to spend more, to celebrating with less concern for moderation, having more hope in their hearts. And there are other things happening. Mercury becomes invisible on December 25th. So you might be completing some Mercury project, ending it, putting it, maybe taking a break from too much mental pressure after that, completing some business project or whatever, or ending it. And of course, Mercury becomes retrograde till the 18th of January. It's at the very end of December. It's going to be retrograde in Capricorn mostly, and we will, after that, from the end of December and on to January, be editing, starting some already started projects. But you see, Mercury becomes very weak towards the end of the month. First, it becomes invisible. After the 25th, for some it will be later, and then it becomes retrograde. So that will be more like for correcting mistakes. There can be some complications with Mercury things, communication, transport, travel. So be careful towards the end of the month, the last 5 days, or let's say the last 4 or 5 days in anything Mercurial: communications, travel, business transactions, any kind of transactions with internet. It's not always about money, communication, transportation. And the pressure to communicate important conversations will happen, then escalate something that you've been holding on. And just my advice is be more deliberate and conscious with every interaction, email, giving of information around that time, because Mercury becomes first invisible, second retrograde. But one other thing that I noticed is the whole month, Mercury and Venus are basically moving within 1-2 degrees from each other. They're like in a conjunction all the time, first in Sagittarius and then in Capricorn. This is quite good. And for a big part of the month, actually for most of the month, for 10-15 days, Mercury is also visible. So both Venus and Mercury are very strong most of the month. So this is fantastic for any kind of social events, if you want to do both as social planets, anything to do with business, with money. Mercury rules business, Venus rules money. Anything to do with media, anything to do with important conversations, with pleasant time with others, anything to do with, receiving some good news. The whole month is good for receiving good news. It's good for romantic meetings and good conversations that feel fulfilling, of being understood and heard by others. And there will be a strong desire to explain your feelings with words and to communicate how you feel, but in a non-aggressive way, in a way that comes almost like silver tongue, as they call it. It will be a great time to enjoy hobbies, amusements, fun activities. Mercury's interest, Venus makes it very pleasurable. Pleasant communications with others or with your partner. Of course, around the full moon in Gemini, that's when it's not so pleasant because it's with Mars. So around 6, 7, 8, 9, this is more stressful, more angry period. make plans for some entertainment when Mercury and Venus are together. Of course, that's perfect for this month. So I think all in all, this, and just excluding this full moon, which again can be great for many things, the month is great. You might be getting some new ideas how to earn money. Mercury is ideas, plans, Venus is money, especially since both planets are becoming visible, being born. Successful business or social meeting, the whole month is great for that. You know, despite of the full moon in Gemini, that is more stressful. Planning or organizing events of any sorts will be successful, and where people meet together will go well. So I think all in all, very positive month except this full moon. And now let's start with the 12 signs. Aries, sun, moon, or rising. Aries, quite a lot of supporting influences with this month. First of all, Venus is born in your 9th house. This is rare event, happens once in 18 months. Venus is this is one of the most beautiful events in astrology, according to ancient astrologers. When Venus becomes visible again, it's the most beautiful planet in the sky. It looks like a diamond, and of course, it rules diamonds and luxuries and money and pleasures and romance, all the pleasant things that the world gives us, external ones. Well, Venus being born in your 9th house, we can bring something beautiful there. Venus becomes visible at the very beginning of December for you in your 9th house of travel, of higher education. So there might be the birth for you of love, because Venus of love for something, for some kind of new knowledge, for something to do about planning your future, something to do about some new inspiration can be born. It might be the birth of some love for higher knowledge, for astrology, or for new degree, or to study something. You can become passionate and in love with some knowledge of some sort, and that's great. For some kind of optimism, might be good to check out your 2023 horoscope, which are out, mine, because the 9th house is about the future and planning and feeling hopeful and seeing the bigger picture and feeling full of hope. So my Aries 2023 horoscope is one of the best ones for 2.5 hours. Check it out. There is a link below. It's only $20, because some of the best things will be happening to Aries in 2023, and they start already from December. They can be also for some of you the birth of love in a foreign country, for someone who is from abroad or from a far away distance, or they can develop love towards something more exotic, more foreign, towards some kind of, as we said already, higher knowledge, or to learn something, or the birth of to teach something, some idea to teach or to learn. They can be the birth of some possibility to travel, especially the first 2 weeks of December. You know, it's traveling somewhere, foreign countries. It will go really well. We must protect you there. They can be the birth of someone, a teacher, a new teacher that you love, new inspirational figure of some sort, new inspirational plan. As I said, love or connection with someone from a different social background, with a higher standing, or more educated, or someone who is very different culture than you, that expands your horizon, such connection with such a person. So that's one thing. But just Venus being born in another fire sign supports the first 2 weeks of December. I think will be very good for Aries people, especially the last week of November, the first week or two of December, because of this Venus. Then the other big event that's happening is the full moon in your 3rd house in Gemini. Well, it's in your sign of communication, so there can be some around 7, 8, even a few days before or after. It can become a bit more stressful when it comes to communication, because it's with Mars, so there might be some confrontation with others, being more explosive, being more sharp with your words, using them like arrows, but there might be the need for some things to be said that were not said. And especially when people in your close environment, colleagues, teammates, workmates, neighbors, people on social media, people in your whoever you call friends or mates, relatives. So that's what you have to be more careful about with this full moon, and also damaging of anything to do with your social accounts, information, because it is Mars and it's retrograde, having to fix something connected to information, to writing, to speaking, to social media, something connected to documents, something connected to papers that you have to act fast on and correct or change. Of course, there can be some compromise of information, of data, of anything online, and so on. That's the monetic side. And also be a bit more careful around 6, 7, 8, 9 when it comes to traveling, because of just especially short travels, cars, because of Mars being activated here. But of course, this can also indicate that you're working on some project connected to mind, to writing, to speaking, to media, to anything to do with producing content, written, spoken, video, or whatever, or writing reports, or anything about meetings, business discussions, marketing, advertising, that escalates around that time, maybe to be completed, something to be fixed because Mars is retrograde, plus something to be made aware of that's not working, and to be, to be corrected in some way. And also with devices, as I said, for cars or transportations, it can be a bit more stressful, but something important is happening there. But you can be also, as I said, completing such projects, third house projects, communication, writing, and so on. And it's not necessarily just fighting with people. So that's this full moon. And then the other big event for you guys is that Jupiter is entering your sign again around the 20th, 21st of April. Of December. You'd feel the life force coming back to you, especially the early born Aries. Those in March will start feeling March 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd. Those who have Ascendant or Moon in the first 5 degrees, they'll feel this flow of energy into them. The later born Aries will feel this incredible luck coming to you sometime till May 2023. I'm a later born Aries, for example, so I'll feel it in April, the Jupiter blessing, but already the beginning of Jupiter from the first degree in Aries, already the vibration for Aries rises. I don't know if you noticed it. I personally noticed it, even though I'm late Aries. The day or a few days before, even when Jupiter entered Aries last May, my vibration improved, everything improved. So we'll feel it already. So that's, as I said, probably a great month for a lot of Aries people. First of all, Venus is being born in the sign. Second of all, Jupiter is being born, is entering their sign, so they'll feel inspired. Luck is coming to you. It will say new opportunities are coming to you. The birth of something great, wealth can come, and internal joy. Jupiter is internal joy. There's something that you don't need from outside. It's like the sense of happiness inside. It comes from knowledge. It comes from being connected to the universe. It comes to being in the flow. It comes from being connected to inspiration and energy. These are all internal processes that are not dependent on the outside circumstances. Venus is all the great things that come to us from outside. Is it love, money, relationships that we can't generate? That's something external that gives us kind of, it's not internal joy, it's external happiness. Both are helping you in December, guys. So great month. So Jupiter will bring a lot of good stuff, also opportunities to travel, because Jupiter rules your 9th house, starting from the 20th onwards. Already the whole month it's there, because planets are activating your 9th house, and it's great for any travel, higher education, teaching, knowledge, inspiration, predicting the future, speaking with someone who can predict your future, focusing on your long term, focusing on goals and plans, maybe focusing on some kind of, and with Jupiter entering your sign, something that makes you believe and expand your field of opportunities, maybe imagining that, where you want to go, where you want to be in 1 year from now. And then imagine you're already there. What is the next step? So you can expand it furthermore. All of those things will be great for you. And Mercury is becoming visible in your 10th house this month. So there can be the birth of new beginning, especially connected to your career, because there is a new moon there around the 21st, 22nd, 23rd. Oops, sorry. So that can indicate that there will be a renewal and rebirth connected to your career goals and plans, something important. There are some new ideas, especially projects that the Mercurial can go really well, writing, speaking, sales, communications, meetings, and matters of that sort. All right, I think that's the most important event for you guys. I think it's quite supportive. So good luck. I think that will be pretty optimistic for Aries overall. Now, if you are Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Rising, the month begins with Venus becoming visible in your 8th house. Something good will come to you, will be born in your 8th house. Maybe gifts that you receive from others, especially it's going to be very strong at the beginning of December. Money that you receive from external sources, some help that you receive from external sources. This is the resources of others. This is you opening yourself and receiving something good from outside, receiving some help, some ideas, some collaboration, or some money from outside, support of the sort. But the 8th house, or sometimes it can be the birth of something else, like 8th house is the house of conception and impregnation. For those of you who are interested, Venus being born there, who knows? Venus is a wonderful planet. For someone else, if you're expecting money from another, it can come, or it can come unexpectedly, even when Venus is being born, or some financial opportunity can come to you, connected through mutual finances or some external resource in some sort, or other people's money. The 8th house on the psychological level is the ultimate house of soulmates, because it's the ultimate merging of two into, like, you open yourself to another. This is the house of the intimate sexual act of, and that's not just to create children, but the act when two people merge to exchange, metamorphose each other by sharing their energies. That's why sexual intercourse can change you. You pick up the other's karma, good or bad. You pick up people's their vibrations. You pick up if they're low vibration, you might start feeling depressed. If they're high vibration, you might start improving yourself. So with Venus in this 8th house, they can be the birth of some new sexual chapter in your life, new interest, or new kind of intimacy sexually that might be healing even for some of you. For others, the 8th house is a cult, hidden house. They can be the birth of interest in astrology or love, because Venus is love for something hidden, in something private. There can be the appearance of hidden money as well, because 8th house is hidden and Venus is money. They can be the birth of some hidden love. They can be the birth of some love for something more taboo, or the birth of great interest towards exploring the subconscious, the deep motivations. That's why I love towards psychology, astrology, and such more occult and more psychological interests. So Venus, I think, even though it's a difficult house, it can bring good things from there, or the birth of some deep realization of some trauma that you heal. So the healing of some trauma, because Venus is a natural nurse. It's a healer. It softens something. It makes it easier to accept. It makes it easier to heal from. Because 8th house rules those more difficult things as well, like traumas, like pain, and so on. And then the more the month progresses, the more lucky you start feeling, Taurus, because planets start moving into your 9th house. the house of luck, of high vision, of feeling inspired, of feeling positive. The whole month there's planets in your ninth house, especially after the first week. First Mercury, then Venus enters, then the Sun after the 21st. So even already after the first 10 day of December can be great to start traveling. It can trigger traveling. It can trigger anything to do with higher knowledge, higher education, connected to inspiration, to higher vision, to more optimism. Teaching, learning of any sort is fantastic. Attending classes, courses as well. And there will be a new moon towards the 21st. That's exactly on the first day of the winter solstice, which indicates something new that comes into your life that will influence you for the next 3 months at least. Sometimes, because if there is a new moon exactly on the day of winter solstice, the next 3 months will be affected. So something new will be born for you in December, towards the end, connected to higher knowledge, to learning something, to even spiritual development, to self-improvement, ninth house rules, that opportunities to learn, to pre-qualify, to study, to teach, or to inspire in some sort, opportunity to travel or for foreign relocations, to moving of some sort as well as ninth house, or legal matters, something, opportunities to do something like that, legalize certain matters and so on. But I forgot to mention that there is a really, really powerful, intense full moon around the 7th in your second house. That can be, it doesn't directly affect you unless you have planets in Gemini, but it's still in your second house. So there can be some important decisions you have to make about resources, finances with this new moon. Actually, a new moon, full moon. The full moon can affect you for a couple of weeks till the next new moon on the 21st of December. So starting from the first week of December to around the 21st, there can be some kind of, especially around the 6, 7, 8, 9, there can be some focus around finances, resources. Sometimes it can be stressful because it's Mars involved. There can be spending of something. There can be the need to spend more, unexpected expenditure that are possible. And they can even, because it's Mars more like a planet that's about fighting and arguing, there can be some argument about resources or values, what is valuable to you, what is valuable to another, or about money with a partner. Mars rules your 7th house, and then no. But Mars also rules your 12th house of expenses, so that can be something like that, or especially for travel or for gifts or for charity, I don't know. But you have to be a bit more careful with financial decisions around this new moon, full moon, around the 7, 8, And you might be also become aware of some financial situation that you have to fix, correct. Because Mars, after all, is retrograde. It wants to correct, to perfect things. So you have to take some action in regards to that, especially connected to how you value yourself, your worth, how you price yourself, or something that is valuable to yours that you might have to fix or do something about. There might be some critical situation about money, finances, assets, something valuable, some important decisions that you have to complete, do finish around that time. Then the other big event is that Mercury, and of course, Mercury will become visible around the 14th. So a week before and a week after can be great, and becoming visible in your 9th house. Some travel to faraway country. We talked a little bit about that already, but Mercury becoming visible, publishing, putting something out there, some knowledge, starting some course or class, reading or studying something about the future, about planning, organizing some trip, higher knowledge, organizing matters connected to legal matters, to relocation, to foreign business and so on. Sorry. Then the other big event is that Jupiter is moving into your 12th house. It was for a little bit in your 12th house in 2022 for around 5-6 months. Came out and it's coming back again till May 2023. This will be a time when many of you might have some time to withdraw a little bit because you're preparing when Jupiter enters your first house from May 2023. That will be the time from May 2023 when really a lot of good opportunities will come to you for 1 year. But before that, you kind of almost have to prepare psychologically, mentally, and the 12th house is the stage of preparation. You're resting more, sleeping more even. Jupiter can improve your sleep, expand it, doing more soulful activities that feed the soul rather than external things. And that can be meditating, going for walks, just reading literature, just anything that requires a long time. With contemplating with your own thoughts, planning things, researching or studying something. Again, we have this theme of studying or researching because, first of all, Mercury will be born in your 9th house of higher knowledge, new moon in your 9th house, opportunity to study or learn something, to dive into some new system of knowledge. Inspiration in the 12th house is another Jupiterian house where Jupiter enters, which is about research, study, and that gives you very deep understanding when Jupiter is in the 12th house. Often you can also receive messages from the invisible world after Jupiter enters the 12th house. You might feel like you're tapped and connected to some invisible realm. You might feel like your intuition will increase a lot. Some of you might even have mystical experiences. Some of you might have prophetic dreams in your sleep, because it is Jupiter, it's a prophetic planet in the house of the invisible worlds and dream and sleep. Others might have an opportunity to travel abroad. 12th house, another house of faraway places till May, but it might start coming already from December. Again, opportunity to study something, live abroad, relocate, or travel to faraway places and distant places. Of course, Jupiter there can indicate more spending, especially spending on travel or knowledge of some sort. But it's also making you more charitable. This is a great time to give. I remember when Jupiter was in my 12th house, it's the first time I started. I chose a charity that I felt very identified with. And that till day I felt, I helping schools. So that might be, you might have some altruistic push to help someone, not necessarily charities, but to be more giving to others, to give of your time, of your knowledge, to share with the world, something without expecting something back. But again, as I said, it might be a very good time onwards from December, that relocation, moving to a foreign place, travel, higher knowledge, and so on. All right. What about Gemini? Gemini, Sun, Moon, or Rising. December, it's quite an important month for you. Maybe the most important thing is that, let's start with the most important, is that this full moon in Gemini, especially if you're from 10 to 20 degrees in Gemini, in particular 16, where the full moon is happening exactly conjunct Mars. That's very intense, guys, very intense. All Gemini will feel it, but the middle degrees Gemini will feel it the most. There can be some, the first house is you, so it's happening in your sign, something very important, some very important decision you have to take, that it's fast, you have to react fastly. It might feel a little bit critical. It might feel like you have to react very fast. It's happening around 6, 7, 8, 9, around that time, but the next 2 weeks will be under its influence from the 7, 6, 7 onwards of December. So you might become, first of all, center of attention for some reason, and your actions will be very important, and there is element of you making the choice and the decision here. You're expected to take and make some initiative or decision, but it is about something that already exists in your life, something that has started, a project, a relationship. But there might be some critical period now, around 6, 7, 8, 9, around this time of the full moon, where you have to, because Mars is retrograde with it, where something escalates, something comes to the forefront to be dealt with, some problem to be dealt with, and some important decisions to change direction or to edit or to fix something and to have to change the direction of something as well. And it can also involve other people, because this full moon is opposite the sun in your 7th house. So there can be some like confrontation with another that forces you to take a new direction, or that forces you to act fast about something. On a positive level, this full moon can indicate the completion of something that you've already started. Of course, Mars is there, you have to act fast, or you have to correct something because it's retrograde there. Just be more careful that you don't enter into more serious conflicts because of the Mars energy, because that can drag on for longer till Mars turns direct sometime into March, till it leaves your sign of Gemini. Also, if you're already in some kind of a battle or struggle, in some kind of a very important project that requires mobilizing all your resources and energy, this can be a time when something really culminates there. Something takes, there is like a breakthrough, or that there is like, you're seeing the results of those actions, or something changes direction. Say you're in the middle of a fourth battle, whatever. Now there is like a crux time of decision, shifting of direction, or maybe you're doing some project that requires all of your energy concentration, or maybe you're in the middle of some conflict. Anything that requires focus, energy, or, you know, there will be something important, some change that happens, and you have to react to that. So that's about this full moon, which is very intense. But again, full moons in your sign, again, you can give you the rewards for something. If you've done the right actions, you can complete something in your life, so you see the results of it. But there's another big thing that I think will very much protect you. It's Venus, that is being born into your 7th house already on the 1st and 2nd of December. Some people in the world, it might be in November. Others, depends what your geographical location is. The Venus will become visible for that location. But Venus is born for the first time in 18 months in your 7th house. That's one of the most beautiful and important astrological events of the ancient astrology. They said that when Venus becomes visible, one is something new, beautiful is born into their life, and it becomes visible in your 7th house. So for some of you Cancers, that can be the birth of a new relationship that is satisfying, that is beautiful. A new person coming into your life, usually a woman, because it's Venus. For someone with artistic qualities, it's not necessarily for it to be romantic as well. It can be a new friend or acquaintance or influence in your life from another person that is Venusian in quality, introducing you to art, to music, to more civilized and pleasurable side of life. And for some, indeed, it can be either renewal of their relationships, the birth of some better business partnership, contract, agreement is the 7th house, bringing in more clients, or connecting with better following, if you want, or becoming more popular even. So Venus in the 7th house. So some new activity that you do with your partner is the birth of Venus in your 7th house, something that bonds you, that connects you, something that feels positive. Of course, don't forget that there is this full moon after that, around the 7th, that is with Mars in a positive 7th house. So there can be a little bit of the need to clarify something there, to deal with some stressful situation. But at least at the beginning of December, Venus can bring something really good through relationships, through others, a contract, agreement, a sale of something, collaboration of some sort of relationship, or just more pleasant, sophisticated, attractive people around you that enter your life. But something more important. Then there is, for you Gemini, Mercury will become visible, and that's your planet. By the way, why is Gemini so changeable? Well, because your planet is so changeable. It appears and disappears all the time in the sky. Most of the time it's not visible, but when it appears, it shines bright. And now it appears for around 10 days. I mean, it's a very short period that it will be visible in the sky, but it will be very powerful. And that means that you will come into power, Gemini. You'll find yourself from around, I would say even from 7, 8 onwards, after this full moon. First of all, this full moon will activate you into action, definitely. It's with Mars, But then you start feeling that things are getting better and better for you, even if the full moon shook you up a bit. But then things will start getting better and better because Mercury becomes visible around, for some will be around the 10th, for others around the 15th, to around the 25th. That will be a very powerful period for you. Your planet is visible, it's rarely visible. You can shine in some way, or you can do something important, mercurial, writing, speaking, communicating, business deals, and so on, transactions, and especially such involving finances, because Mercury becomes visible in your 8th house, involving financial transactions, involving money connected to investments, connected to taxes. You can do something important connected to taxes, to insurances, to inheritances, or maybe it's connected to some confidential information. You can have some very important confidential information with a psychologist, with a partner, intimate conversations that are important, or even bring out information to the world that is more taboo, challenge others with more contradictory. 8th house is kind of more taboo information that deals with the painful matters, with trauma, with taboo things, with things that conspiracies, with others that are afraid to talk about. You might play some important role to talk out or to say such things to others in this period, or even to initiate some business in such respect. All right, and then Mercury starts becoming retrograde towards the end of the month, 29th. So I'd say from 24th, 25th, 6th, 7th to the end, Mercury kind of you start retracting back. It's your Mercury, and maybe doing things more privately, more hidden. And Mercury goes retrograde and becomes invisible. So then you shouldn't take financial risk because it's in the 8th house, where investments are, financial risk with partners from the end of the month. But from around the 15th or 14th, 13th to the 25th, you can make very good such financial decisions. And then for mutual finances, resources, or important confidential conversations. But after that, they can become more problematic. So if you have anything like that to do, taxes or insurances, inheritances, try and do them by the 25th. All right. And after that, Mercury goes retrograde on the 29th. You might have to revise something connected with insurances, inheritances, all of those things. But there is a lot of this focus in this 8th house, digging into the past, understanding your motivations. This whole December, especially towards the end, more and more, understanding your motivations, understanding what are your blockages in intimacy, researching forbidden topics, some kind of psychological, investigative activity, interest in the occult, in the hidden. Of course, Mercury being born in your 8th house can bring interest into studying astrology, psychology, and there is a new moon on the 21st, second in your 8th house, can renewing such kind of interest. Astrology, psychology, what your motivation is, trauma, and deep bonding. These themes will be very important. First of all, Venus becoming visible in your 7th house talks something important happening in relationship. The 8th house is the other relationship house about growing and evolving, the evolution of the soul through osmosis with another, by merging with another. Because we can't just grow only on our own. Sometimes we need to absorb the qualities of another or something else that we identify with, that we merge with. That's why the house of the deepest kind of soulmate relationships. So for some Gemini, there can be some soulmate thing happening there, with planet being born, becoming visible in the 8th house. Some communication, private, hidden, or relationship that is about private, hidden communication that will transform you. It doesn't have to be sexual necessarily. It can be just transformational, psychological connection. It might be with a psychologist or with someone who is more deep, penetrating, or something that you can bond with that transforms you from outside or heals you from outside. It might be somebody that are doing some cleansing, some healing, shamanic work, some cleansing work of some sort, some cathartic work. All right. And then the other big thing is that Jupiter is entering your 11th house, Gemini. It's been for a while in your 11th house from May to October. Now it's coming back and will stay there till next May as well. You would immediately feel the vibration rising after the 22nd when Jupiter enters. Is equivalent to 21st, yeah, 22nd. You immediately will feel the vibration rise because Jupiter enters a fire sign and air feeds fire, so it's compatible energy to you. And till May, you can expand your social network. Really, really good time. You can meet people that are very beneficial for you, that can bring you closer to fulfilling a dream or goal of yours. You can expand your following. You can expand your clientele. This is what the 7th house is about, 7th and 11th house, and you have two good influences there. First, Venus becoming visible at the beginning of December, then toward the end of the December, Jupiter entering your 11th house, and for the next 6 months, you can grow business, following, clientele, gains. You can make more money. 11th house is the rewards of your work. You can receive bonus, or not necessarily in December immediately, but over the next 4 or 5 months till May, the middle of May. But Jupiter opens that door now. It will be great to attend any places like big concerts or seminars or whatever you can get with a lot of people. If you can't do it in person, then online, you can join groups, and this will have mind-expanding influence on you. You can meet new friends online or in real life, and you can connect to the right people in an opportunistic way that opens doors for you in some way. And you can fulfill some long-term goal or dream over the next 4 or 5 months, like receiving an honor or a title, bringing out some project to the public that will be received well, becoming more popular. It's one of the social houses of popularity. Some of the karma houses, karma, which is desire, fulfilling your own desires. And it's like, usually our desires are for fame, for wealth, for recognition, and Jupiter can bring that. Like you're sitting there and you're reaping. You're reaping. 11th house is the house of reward. So if you have something to be rewarded for, it can start happening. Rewards of your efforts, of course. So there you go, Gemini. Interesting month, mostly very positive, with a lot of focus on others, on relationships, and then it becomes more private as well when the planets move into the 8th house. Now, if you're a Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising, this month starts with Venus being born in your 6th house. This is a rare event that happens once in 18 months, and it's very beneficial, considered one of the most beautiful events astrologically in ancient astrology. The star Venus, to be born, is like a jewel rising in the sky. Whatever is born into, something good comes to you already from the beginning of December. It can be like a new job opportunity that is born for some of you. And it's something that you love, because that's Venus. It can be new holistic path that you go on, that you would love, that you would enjoy much more rather than sweating it. It can be love or interest or enjoyment of some kind of new health routine, for example, or some new health product, or some new medicines. For some of you who've been sick, Venus is the perfect nurse in astrology. So it can give alleviation to some health problem because it's being born in a 6th house of health. You can give the right treatment or medicine, or a better doctor that you find. Or it can, even a female appearing in your life or a relationship can have like a healing influence, or can have a influence of helping you resolve some problems. Maybe a woman or someone will appear in your life. The 6th house rules problems. That can help you solve a problem, an advisor, I don't know. The 6th house is also the house of connected to workmates. We talked about work. Maybe they can be the appearance of a new workmate, a colleague or employee of yours. You can employ someone that is beneficial for you, that has a beautiful vision. If you're someone who is in the Venusian fields, consulting, art, architecture, design, beauty, relationships of any sort, sales, luxury, well, then Venus being born in the 6th house can give birth to a new such project, a new such direction or job, or just new ideas to beautify yourself. And it's in your daily routine, some beautifying daily routines, because the sixth house is how you take care of yourself. Maybe you take care of yourself by buying some special creams. Maybe you take care of yourself by making smoothies. Maybe you take care of some beauty products or some more beautiful clothes, whatever. So these are some of the things that will happen with this Venus being born in your sixth house. Then another big event is that there is a full moon that is a bit more tense in your 12th house, around the 7th, so maybe a few days before, a few days after that. You might find yourself having a bit more violent dreams, but also dreams that are very realistic, maybe even finding it harder to sleep with Mars in the 12th house. Actually, it might have been the case for many Cancers for a while, because Mars has been there for a while. But now it's like escalation. It's a new moon and it's the opposition of Mars with the Sun. There can be some important development that happens in a foreign country or connected with faraway places that might be a bit stressful or require fast action. There's something that is completed or some project that you're working behind the scenes that has to be corrected, fixed, or completed in some way. And some pivotal part of this process is happening around that time. The 12th house is also connected to not just faraway places, hidden projects or private projects you're working on, but also spiritual work. If you've been meditating or whatever, there can be some breakthrough now, almost like penetration, which is Mars into other realms or insights, very powerful intuitive insights. This is very powerful for intuition, like you know things, it will hit you like a ton of bricks. 12th house is also private secrets, hidden things. There can be some important piece of information that is happening in Gemini that comes to you from the invisible world or from intuitively, or that you learned that was secret till now, that shocks you, surprises you. Not only that, but makes you change action of some sort. Some pivotal missing piece of information or information that was unknown. Some secrets can come to the surface. On another level, this can be time, which is 12 houses about research, higher spiritual knowledge as well, delving deep into such matters, becoming very deeply involved with such matters. All right. Be careful for more expenditures, because the 12th house is about spending money, and it can appear because of this full moon. Or also there can be that you find out some secret about someone that's doing something, that's been doing something that you are not aware of, that can aggravate you a little bit and to require you to act in some way. Sometimes this full moon also says you need a time to rest for a little bit, because the 12th house is the house of isolation, a long time rest, but doing something actively is funny enough. Like, you know, you're kind of solving some problems when you're taking time away from, you know, maybe for a few days or whatever from work, but you're actively solving some other problem because Mars, or you might even have to take some time off to fix some problem behind the scenes. But that's the most stressful situation. After that, it's mostly positive things, guys. The other big event that is happening is that Jupiter will enter Aries. And Jupiter was already in your 10th house from May to October. Now it's entering there to May 2023. And it's going to be at the highest part of your horoscope, guys. So this is you. Jupiter is up there. That's the most visible part, and that's the best planet in astrology. The planet that gives the biggest distinction, well, that gives easy way. So there's like if you have indications in your horoscope to rise high in the world, that will be the time. Some of you might become famous, visible. Some of you, even if you don't have high indications for powerful public positions or career of some sort, it can indicate that some of you really improve their career. Some of you might become clear about what it is they want to make in their career. Some of you will develop new, more meaningful business or career direction in their life. Some of you might be called to find their mission, and they will, because Jupiter gives answers, is the teacher that that the benevolent teacher that answers us. So Jupiter can give you answers to what is your meaning and purpose to contribute to the world. Others who've been working hard already can get a promotion or can become more visible, can get recognized. So this time, or it can be the start of some project that goes very well successfully, that receives great positive development and reception. Others might be freed by some, because Jupiter also has spring influence, might be freed by some oppressive career situations or boss or such kind. Or also it can give really positive developments coming through authority figures or people in power or institutions of some sort that will be benevolent to you in some way. Or you can do something important with such matters. So good luck with your career till May, because it's a rare opportunity to really renew it, to shine, to do some big beginning there, new beginning and achievement. So there you go, Cancers. Mercury will go retrograde in the 7th house on the 29th of December, while conjunct Jupiter. So some of you might, from the very end of December, meet some people they love from before, they haven't seen, past loves as well, or friends from the past, or family, because Venus rules your 7th house, conjunct retrograde Mercury in the 7th house of people, meet with family, and it will, yes, it's retrograde, so you might be reminiscing for the past, you might be bringing up some old things or revisiting. Some of you might reconnect with relationships that they haven't heard from, family ones or romantic ones. But it's usually going to be for some good times, because Venus is present there as well. Or there might be some important conversations that some of you bring up about the past to clarify them in relationships with others. Sometimes it can be a bit more critical. Of course, Mercury retrograde, but I think it's more on the good side because of the Venus involvement there. But still, you know, Pluto is very close, so there can be some more kind of painful things that from the end of December and part of January you have to discuss more intense, more deep, more profound things. And if something has been eating you from inside, you'll bring it up to discuss it. And it might be the involvement again of some secret that you have to, or confidential information because of Pluto that you have to discuss. But also the possibility for some very intense sexual connection for those of you who are single, or intimacy, because Pluto is this planet of intimacy, and Venus is relationships, and Mercury is talking about the past when it's retrograde and digging into things that went wrong before and discussing them, and maybe creating more intimacy because of that. And if not possible, it can escalate some kind of crisis. All right. Now, Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Leo, December starts very beneficial for you. Venus will become visible in another fire sign. This is considered one of the most beautiful events, the birth of Venus, the most powerful events and manifestations in ancient astrology, and it's becoming visible in your 5th house of fun. And Venus is born once every 18 months in different areas of your horoscope, in 5 different areas. It's possible now Venus is going to be born in Sagittarius in your 5th house, which means that there will be the birth of, for some of you, new romantic love interest. You know, for some of you might be the birth of dating more or going more on more dates already from the beginning of December. The birth of new hobby that you're passionate about, that you love, because Venus is something you love. Hobby or interest, or something that is about playing, having fun. Maybe invitations can come to some amusements, to some something to do with enjoying yourself, with feeling connection to your inner child. Something, for some of you, it can truly be some new sport that you start enjoying and really loving it. So, for example, because this is the 5th house in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a very sporty, outdoorsy sign. Venus is something you love, and 5th house is, of course, something that we do to feel alive and happy. like children, how, and as an adult, is how do you play? What is your play? For some, it might be Venus in Sagittarius. You know, there are types and types of, it might be more parties, attending something that makes you having fun. So if you want to do a party, do it the start of the month. If you want to do the first, you know, first week or something. If you want to do some, or if you want to, for some of you, it can be the birth of new creative projects, because it is Venus. It's very creative in the 5th house of creativity. It can be some new original idea that you birth. If you're someone who works with beauty, art, design, wow, definitely some new ideas coming to you. It can be the birth of a new business idea as well, because 5th house is anything that you create yourself. Is it the idea, whatever? So if you create a business, that's your own thing, but that can be a good time to launch something like that, or to launch anything creative that you've done, to put it out there, or to start something new creative. Venus in the 5th house can give birth. For some people, literally have children. For others, can be the birth, can give birth for desire to have a child. For others, can be a new stage in the life of their child. It can be a new stage of something, but in a positive way, something good coming in regards to your children, something to help you and help them in some way. And it can also mean some inspiration and more joyful people entering your life for some of you, or more good times with loved people. Venus rules your 3rd house, might be your siblings, might be relatives that you have jolly good times with. And it can be friends as well. 3rd house is also connected to friends, and that you have warmth and heart connection in some way. It's all of those things. So Venus will protect you. It's being born there. And then there is another important event, is the full moon in Gemini conjunct Mars, exactly, in your 11th house. So a very social house, the 11th house. This is happening on the 7th, but you can feel it a few days before and 2 weeks after as well. But the most pivotal time is on the 7th. Let's start with the more negative, because Mars is, it's not the easiest planet. The moon is very sensitive. So you can be very sensitive to some friends' remarks around 6, 7, 8, 9. You can even be triggered by his friends. You might decide to leave certain social groups that you're part of, online or in real life, that you cut. And it's like Mars is like, with the sword. And it's a full moon, completion of something, seeing something in full light. Maybe you'll see the face of some friends or some followers that you have, or some clients. Sometimes you might cut off a part of that, or it can be, and it can trigger some kind of, you know, conflict there, social conflict, or in your public image of some sort. On a positive level, though, it is Mars, but still, it's a very positive house. The 11th house makes good aspects to you. This can be the completion, seeing the results of, and the rewards from certain efforts you've been doing for a while. And that is received very publicly, or that is directly related to business, or to gains and finance and money, because the 11th house is your income, your gains. So if you've been working hard, you can see the results of that. You can gain something, and it can happen very fast. It can lead to some kind of a public exposure. It can reach to some kind of a being noticed socially, or having influence on others. But it's not going to be something new. It's something already that's happened before, that it's been on action, something you've been doing for a while, and that it has a peak, a culmination, and some kind of titles, honors, recognition of some sort, or just some very active time with friends. It can be some very active time, events or activities that require not only with friends, but involvement with some community. It might be an online community, it can be a business community, it can be your clients, or whatever it is, but larger group of people for example, maybe you've been planning some big group activity, and now it comes to fruition. But again, the day itself, the 6, 7, 8, is more stressful socially, because people will be more reactive emotionally, so to speak. But it can be great to do something physical with others, say, oh, you get together, you build something, you get together to solve problems. Mars is retrograde in a big business meeting. You're gonna solve problems. Mars is retrograde. Plus, it can bring some people from the past you haven't seen in a while to connect with them, maybe to bring from the past some kind of an old project you've been working on, social, economic, or whatever. Maybe that will have social influence on others, or that will bring economic rewards to you. So you have to fix something because you become aware during this full moon what is not working, where is there a mistake or a problem, because Mars retrograde there will bring out those issues. What is not working, what has to be corrected. So you have to put a lot of efforts and energy to fixing that, to completing it, and so on. Or maybe some long-term project you're working on has to be fixed, redefined somehow, and so on. But just be aware that there might be some stressful situations connected to friends or people in your large acquaintances as well to be dealt with. Or quick escalation in relationship with something connected to large groups of people. It might be very positive as well. All right, then the other big event is that Jupiter is entering fire signs. So again, this month will be highly supportive of Leos. First of all, it's a fire sign till the 21st, definitely. Most planets, the sun is at least in the 5th house, Venus is born there. So it's celebration, larger than life, feeling more optimistic, happy, joyful. While even though our planet starts moving to your 6th house after the gradually through December, which is more connected to practical matters, work, dealing with everyday matters, health, routines, diets, duties, responsibilities at work, but kind of the high vibe of inspiration stays, the high vibe of fire, because Jupiter enters from the 22nd, 21st, your 9th house, and immediately Jupiter will raise the vibration of Leo. Jupiter will start protecting Leos till May the 16th, 2023. No matter what you do, even if you're stupid and ignorant now, which usually life doesn't forgive us for, somehow, at least till May the 15th, you will be protected to do your folly, maybe allowed to do your folly without, consequences. But for people that are wise or who are inspired to action, inspired to do what their dharma is, their talents, this will be one of the most supportive periods in a long time. I mean, there are going to be opportunities, new luck coming to you, expansion possibilities for travel. Already from the last 10 days of December, becomes very auspicious for Leos to travel to May, the middle of May. Even a little bit before that, it can be as well, but to travel, to study, to learn higher knowledge. Because Jupiter is the planet of higher knowledge, the 9th house is higher knowledge. You can learn astrology. You can really see the bigger picture now. If it didn't make sense till now, you'll see the bigger picture and you know where you're headed. You'd find meaning in life. You'd find purpose, something to wake up for, something to make you excited about life. And it's not some pleasures only. Venus is doing that with the pleasures in the 5th house. Not pleasures, but having fun. Reconnecting you with the inner child, with the spark and excitement of life. But Jupiter is doing it from the 9th house, which is more house of joy, and the joy that comes through knowledge and knowing where you're heading, the knowledge that comes with clarity, the knowledge which comes, the joy that comes with having a purpose and having a coherent cosmological idea. Some people might really expand their mind and really kind of make sense of the universe and put it together into some coherent belief system that becomes the base, like a renewal of their belief system, which like they might be, for example, you might develop interest in teachers, in higher, in inspirational self-improvement of some sort. It's not necessarily. Some others might go to university to study something, to pre-qualify. This is usually when you realize that you're capable of a lot more, and that you find a new direction that inspires you, something new that inspires you, and you start learning it. It's not necessarily just to be in university or courses or classes. It can be definitely just by reading up on things. You develop a lot of interest in some more higher evolved topic, that it might be astrology, it might be, I don't know, science, whatever. And it's also, you can become more spiritual, more connected to the truth, and you'll be very much aligned to recognize truth from untruth, moral from immoral, and you'll be very much realigned to the right teachers. You'll be directed. Some of you will find the right teachers, the right mentors, the right inspirational figures, the right system of belief that keeps you going in the right direction for the next 12 years. Others can indicate traveling abroad. Others can indicate relocation to a foreign place, or expanding their mind through meeting high-minded, cultured, educated people of some sort. And by being around such people, also expanding themselves in what you believe is possible. By the end of this transit, by June, by June, when it fully finishes, you will find yourself believing in yourself and what you're capable of a lot more, and having like a new vision for yourself, feeling way more. It's starting already now, but feeling like way more is possible. And what you believe, it happens. Expanding the field of possibilities. All right. Then the other event is that there is a new moon eclipse. Sorry, not eclipse, a new moon in Capricorn in your 6th house on the 23rd. So for the next 1 month, also it can renew you with something connected with your health, or to put you on a new health kick after the 23rd onwards, 24th, 25th, after Christmas, or to put you on to new kind of treatments or healing of some sort, because 6th house is about taking care of the health. It can also bring you to a new career or job for some of you, or a new project to do at your work that you have to start, or renewed interest in your work, or to take care of more mundane, practical things and matters in your life. And that's about it, guys. There you go. These are the most important events of the month for Leos. A lot of support, though. If you're Virgo, Sun, Moon, or Rising, the month starts with Venus becoming visible in your 4th house. Only at the very beginning of the month already, Venus becoming visible in your 4th house can bring something really wonderful in regards, something new is born that is very beneficial, very supportive in regards to the 4th house. Some of you, and this happens once in 18 months only, and not for the first time in 8 years. Venus is born, or even more, in your 4th house. So very opportunity for something new to be born. For some of you, might be a new member of family, some good news about family. For others, might be some good news connected to selling, buying property, or finding a place they feel that they belong to. Others can be about finding roots. Others can be about settling. Others can be about something good happening in their family, feeling happy, supported there, good news from their parents, and so on. Venus rules also your 9th house, being born in the 4th house. That can be, some kind of a travel with family as well, possibility, and anything like that. The last weeks of November and the first couple of weeks of December, especially the first week of December. So anything connected to home, family, property, or birth of any Venusian project. It might be education or whatever, because it goes in 9th house or financial. There might be some new ideas some of you Virgos have about how to make money when Venus is born. For others, it might be some new ideas and love born for something to study, because Venus rules in 9th house, higher knowledge of some sort. And of course, Venus is starting anything connected to beauty, art, design. That goes really well. Hi, buddy. Can you put on some clothes? Mom is working.
People will see you all over the world in your journey.
Yes, they're watching you all over the world. Talking about good things in family. Now, the next big thing is that there is a very, very intense full moon in your 10th house, guys. Say bye. Come, get out of here. So there is a full moon. Kai! Sorry. They have chicken pox in the kindergarten, so they couldn't go. Not the kids, but other kids. Anyway, so full moon in your 10th house, it's intense because it's with Mars, and you might feel it, especially if you're 10 to 20 degrees Virgo Sun Moon rising, because it's going to square you. So it might become around the 6, 7, 8, 9, those days. You can be more reactive. You might be willing to, you might be sensitive, more sensitive and more emotional outbursts, and especially verbal, because it's happening in Gemini. And you might even confront some authority figures. It might be high time. Authority figures might be father, institution, boss, someone in authority of some sort. There might be some situation there happening, and there might be some, or maybe demands of your work and your job. The 10th house might put some pressure on your personal relationship, on you. Maybe some deadlines that you have to catch up, and you have to be fast and hurry up. Or some important decisions you have to take about your career, because it's in your 10th house around this full moon, 6, 7, 8, 9. Maybe something that you have to act to correct something, because Mars is retrograde in regards to your career, on some project in regards to your career, or something to correct something, and to fix something in regards to authorities, bosses, father figures. But such situations, 10th house situations, everything that I mentioned can be more testing. On the positive level, it can mean you completing some career project, something more, and maybe because it's retrograde, seeing what is not working and how have to change it and fixing that, but it will require a lot of your focus for about 10, 15 days during this, during the duration of the full moon to December 22nd or something like that. So then we might have to focus all your energy in some work, project, institution, exchange, or connected with your reputation or to complete something. And then another big event is that Mercury is moving into your Mercury is becoming visible around the 14th of December. It starts already from the 7th, 6th. So that's a good news, because you're ruled by Mercury. So after this full moon, that can be very motivating. You can get a lot of things done in your career, and you can be put there in the spotlight, but there's a bit of pressure because of Mars involved. There is the sense of rushing or stress of some sort. But still, you can be very productive, get a lot of things done, and move things, fix a lot of things and so on. But then Mercury, the planet that rules you, becomes very strong. So already from the 7th, 8th onwards, it starts becoming visible, and it will, and it's very rare that Mercury is visible. So you're going to start feeling you're coming into your strength. And the more the month is progressing, so 7, 8, 9, 14, 15 to around the 25th, Mercury is visible. It's visible for a very short time, but now is the time. And you see this full moon in the 10th house of visibility is also helping you with career. If you want to put out anything mercurial out there, start doing it after the full moon, but it's something that maybe you've been working on, and but if you want to put anything mercurial out there, an important communication, important article, video, anything to do with media, anything that you've created yourself as well, do it now. It will be well accepted. It will be visible. If you'll be working, maybe some marketing project, some business project, any Mercury is all kind of mental work, communication, media, internet, websites, now is the time. Get it finished by Christmas, because Mercury is very strong. Your Mercury, or anything that you have to do, that it's your own initiative, it will come. You do it now till Christmas. It's very good time. Mercury is visible. Mercury is moving direct till then. And being in the fifth house, you can be celebrated for that. You can be very lucky. Also, some of you will have some new ideas that come to you. This fifth house is very strongly activated in a positive way the whole December, but especially from, after the first week of December, you're going to start feeling it more and more. You're going to start feeling new ideas popping up for you. Something being born there, like a project, might be business project, or it might be, but it's your own idea, or maybe some new hobby that appears. Mercury to be born, Mercury is interest. Fifth house is something that you're passionate about, discovering some new talent and starting to do it. Maybe a new idea how to have fun. It can be a great time to do some social get-together. Mercury is a social planet in the fifth house. This December, from the middle till the 27th, 5th, 8th, till it's visible. Social get-together to celebrate a party, to organize some party, and to be very creative. I think you'd find yourself, because you're Mercury, becoming visible, you'd shine, you'd impress others in kind of a celebratory situation, fifth house, and having fun, maybe in a party. Your word will be heard, and romantically something new can be born for you. You might be very invested romantically in something, because the fifth house is romance, that dating. Mercury is being born there. Something you might feel re-enlivened into your romantic life, or someone new appearing there to excite you, a renewal of your romantic life, and having fun together with your partner romantically, which sparks you up, makes you more excited with each other. Or if you're already involved, again, you can be doing more fun things with your partner around that time. So planning any holidays, vacations, great time for you with this fifth house of entertainment. And with Mercury there being born, or if you want to bring out some creative, get creative, you can shine by how you decorate your house, the presents. You can be very creative in such things. Or just maybe start writing a book. Some of you might get an idea for that. Some of you might suddenly get a great idea to make a new website or something. Anything that you're creating yourself, that is your own idea, will be born with this powerfully activated fifth house, Mercury becoming visible there. And there is a new moon around the 23rd of December, right on the solar solstice in this fifth house again. Something creative is coming. It will hit you. This month is huge on that, but it will affect you for the next 3 months, the whole winter, because a new moon on solstice, it gives the direction of the next 3 months. So you might be very involved. I don't know, some might be dancing, painting, something creative, artistic, developing some business that you're very passionate about, developing some hobby, creating its marketing and how to do it, to turn it into business, or something that makes you feel alive, that you're having more fun, that you're being more social, enjoying yourself, or doing things that really are enjoyable to you, but they're also practical, because Capricorn is a fifth house. It's not just something that doesn't lead you anywhere. It has to be tangible and has to give some results. However you're giving, you're having fun. It's not kind of like some abstract fun. It's tangible, real fun. And of course, for some of you, it can be the start of some romantic renewal, romantic chapter, because of a planet born in your fifth house becoming visible. So who's gonna have most fun this holiday season? It will be Virgo, with the fifth house of fun being activated. I hope so for you, of course. And then Mercury starts going retrograde after from the 29th. So whatever you have to do, because you're Mercury, wrap it up by 25th, 26th. So then Mercury becomes invisible and it becomes retrograde in your fifth house. So it becomes weaker. So anything important that you have to announce or do or bring out there, do it till then. After that, take a bit of a break. Mercury will be going retrograde. Think about the past. You might reconnect with people from the past, with old love, some of you, because Mercury will be with Venus. You might be rethinking your love life. Others might be rethinking the way they have fun as well, and so on. But till then, there is a lot of maybe more quiet ways of enjoying yourself and so on. So that's about it, Virgos. Oh yeah, of course. Jupiter is entering your 8th house. It was already in your 8th house from May to October, so you've got a bit of a glimpse. Now it comes to finish the job. It comes there on the 21st of December, stays there till May 16th, 2023. Now you can really, over the next 4 or 5 months, maybe not immediately from December, but just so you know, this is so important to remember. Expect something to come to you from others. Might be financial support, might be from government. It might be that you expand your finances by your partner making more money, or by receiving inheritance of some sort, some insurance, or maybe even some tax easing, or maybe doing your taxes in a way that gives you more freedom and more money. Or also you might, maybe some investments that you've made in stocks or whatever can pay back nicely or can make more money now. Your partner, or maybe your clients, if you have clients or business partner, they can bring in more money or resources. It's not necessarily always other people's money, the 8th house. I mean, when I was learning astrology, I was a bit of a hoping to find someone rich. I put a lot of emphasis on the 8th house as like the gold digging aspect. But no, I realized that when my 8th house would be activated, I'll find it very easy to recognize the qualities in others that I really like, that I wanted to have. And I'll connect to such, it will be much easier to connect with such people, and by osmosis, become what they are, so that's why the 8th house is known the house of infatuation as well. Oftentimes we get infatuated with people that have qualities that are very different than others, that we crave ourselves. That's why they call it the soulmate connection house. And I met my soulmate that, I really did when Jupiter was transiting my 8th house, because he was so different, and it can create some very passionate, romantic, or intimacy connection with others, but it's not necessary to be sexual. That's what I'm trying to say. Sometimes, if you're lucky, it can be sexual. You can have sexual healing of some sort when Jupiter is in the 8th house, can really create the ability to connect intimately, to open up to another. But what it truly does, it brings you the right people and circumstances that you recognize, that you want to connect with and become like. Of course, you can get infatuated with something, or obsessed even. You can bring obsessions. But, we get obsessed about things that we think that externally we need to keep us. Sometimes it's addictions, but sometimes, it's something that truly we don't have as a quality. So we're around this person, or we're around that thing, and we're very passionate about it. So Jupiter in the 8th house will make you very passionate. So we become this thing, and evolution. The 8th house is the house of spiritual evolution, the evolution of the soul that happens to us because we exchange or open yourself to someone else, to something else. And of course, we change so much when we open up to another person and let another person in. We transform so much, but something will transform you in an easy way, not in an anal way, like Saturn when it's there. I don't really want to transform it. But with Jupiter, it's like you're ready for the psychological. It's an internal thing. Outside, not much might happen, but internally, you'd feel it like your burden becoming lighter, emotions and traumas and feelings that you've carried, like switching overnight and becoming like some kind of a healing and release of those volcanic emotions and feelings. So there can be a big psychological breakthrough and healing, and even triggering of chakras spinning around, and triggering of Kundalini. 8th house is very much connected to the openings in the body that trigger the Kundalini. And of course, when the Kundalini is triggered, the sexual energy goes up. If you're not into that, or if you're past that stage, it can also indicate like deep interest in the occult, in the forbidden, in taboo topics. You might dig, investigate, or even just be drawn to investigative shows to watch, or be very drawn. I'm currently having Jupiter in the 8th house from my moon, and I am like constantly on the biggest conspiracies and the biggest, and studying astrology. I haven't studied astrology in a while, and I started to do it again. 8th house is astrology, the occult, but especially psychological astrology, the motivations, and it will become very clear to you. Jupiter gives light, brings awareness, the motivations of others, why they're acting like that, but also your own motivations. You'll be like your own psychologist, or you can even find a therapist or psychologist who is incredible. When you find it during Jupiter in your 8th house, you'll have an amazing result. I'm my own psychologist usually, so I do those things alone. But I study and dig deep, and you're gonna start digging deep and studying what it is, what is the reason for that, and have some very deep realizations of triggers of the subconscious that's pushing you there. And that's why healings happen as well. And Jupiter can liberate you, because Jupiter is a liberating planet, moksha planet, from certain obsessions and compulsions. But first, it might expand them a little bit, you know, so you become aware of them while you're doing them, and then you can be liberated with that. On another level, Jupiter in the 8th house can make it easy to get pregnant. Yeah, 8th house is that house, penetration, leads to pregnancy. Great time to study occult, astrology, psychology. Great time maybe to do some investments in mutual funds and resources. They'll be wise, like you have good luck with such things when you do that, and so on. So let me not carry on, because I'll make this too long. Let's carry on to Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Libra, Venus, your planet is finally becoming visible. You were invisible for 3-4 months. Maybe you went a little bit more withdrawn. Maybe you went a little bit under. Maybe even you physically might have felt a little bit under, if it's your ascendant in Libra. Sometimes, you know, the lust for life diminishes, and maybe you kind of have to hibernate for a little bit. But when Venus, from the beginning of the month, starts becoming visible, you coming out. You're gonna start feeling alive again. Maybe your immune system will strengthen as well, or maybe some new beginning will happen in your life. Your planet is being born. The queen, your queen Venus, is reborn in the sky, will become visible in the first week. So already the end of November, the first 10 days of December are your time under the influence of Venus, who is you. So something new is born, and Venus is becoming visible in your 3rd house, and that will give direction for the next 18 months, because that's the length of Venus cycle. Something new can be born there. 3rd house can be friendships, acquaintances, new mates around you. On social media, you can befriend some small groups of friends as well that can have some beneficial influence on you. You can find some new piece of information that you love, that you feel that you really feel invested in as well. Information, groups, or some hobbies. The 3rd house is very much connected to interest. Something that interests you, something that you want to read about, that you're ready to research about. And we do this the most when we love something, because Venus will bring that. So some new interest, some new skill and talent, some new skill you want to develop. You might suddenly really discover pleasure a lot in reading something or learning something new, or like say, I don't know, learn to drive, but it's going to happen very easy. Or learn to make a website, it's going to happen very easy, and you would enjoy it. Learn to speak another language, it's going to happen very easy. Learn to buy a new car. Sometimes 3rd house is transportation. Venus being born there, I don't know, something good in December and following the next few months that can be connected to facilitation, making it easy for you to travel, transportation. Also, great time when Venus is being born in your 3rd house to go travel somewhere. And I think the whole 2-3 weeks of December will be great for that. Short trips that might be very enjoyable and pleasant. Good communications, like you might have some enjoyable, pleasant exchanges with others. 3rd house is siblings, some good news about siblings, good developments there with friends or mates, connecting with such people and relatives as well. Socially, things start becoming easy and good. but maybe some piece of information or some document, something positive developing with documents, with papers of some sort, with some transactions as well. Also, if you want to bring out something, something third house, something you've written, something you might be a new idea that comes to you, something written, something spoken that you're really enjoying, that you can bring it out. Third house is about clientele as well. It's about business, sales, transactions, trades, exchanges. Any of those activities are very positive when Venus is being born in your third house. Even collaborating in a small group environment with people, doing some project together with a small group, combining, or any project that is writing, speaking, communicating, media, marketing, advertising goes great because Venus is being born in your third house. Or buying a new laptop, buying a new communication device, making a first video of something. You might get ideas of such things. Making a website, third house can be connected to the internet and all those things. So all of those things, you have the green light. Some new ideas will be born there. They're going great. Then July, on the 7th, 8th of December, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it will be very intense. There is a full moon with Mars in your 9th house. It's quite intense because Mars is very close to conjunct the moon here. But shouldn't bother you guys because making a trine to you. I mean, it's this full moon might be a bit stressful for others, not so much for you. Let's start how it can be stressful for you. It's the 9th house. There might be some clash of opinions with others. These are your belief systems. I don't know, might be over political things, over your worldviews, over what one believes and what you believe. There might be some kind of a escalation there. Plus the 9th house rules father figures, teacher figures. There can be some escalation there. So be careful about such confrontations, but sometimes they're necessary. But the 9th house also can indicate that this full moon brings the escalation of travel. Well, that's my husband's ascendant. And just a week after the full moon, we're flying to the States a little bit to spend time with family and so on. So that's, can be, it's important that, but especially 6, 7, 8, these days, 7, 8, 9, around those days, be careful a bit of travel because it's Mars, it's accident prone, it's retrograde, just about those days. But because this full moon is active for 2 weeks, it can indicate something important happening with trips, with higher education. Some of you might be completing higher education. Some of you might be completing some course. Some of you might be completing some project about teaching, educating, consulting, advising others. It can be coming to a close because it's a full moon, Mars retrograde. You might have to edit something, fix something there. But of course, because if it's trip of some sort, you have to be, it might be a bit more stressful because of the Mars influence. And retrograde, it might mean going back somewhere you've been to. But it doesn't mean it shouldn't happen. It means you have to just be prepared to be more flexible, let's say. All right, but overall, there might be some kind of a revising of your belief systems and your plans for the future. And you might become very aware that you're changing your mind about your plans for the future, for example, and how you see your future and so on. So some kind of a revising there might happen. Revisiting old places and so on. Then the other big event is that Jupiter is moving into your 7th house. It was for a little bit in your 7th house, but many Libras didn't feel it, especially later born Libras. And now it's coming back to finish the job, and all the Libras will feel it, starting from the 20th, 21st of December till May the 17th, 16th. So for some of you, it might come straight from December, the early born Libras, and the improvements, even later born can feel it, but gradually, well, for the later born Libras, towards the spring, April, May, but this whole period, opening now from December 20th, 21, till May, the middle of May 2023, Jupiter will bring you good things, because Jupiter is the great benefic to you from others. Single Libras might not be single anymore. They might have more than one partner if they want. With Jupiter, there is no limitation how many you can have. Libras that have had problems in their relationships. For example, these can improve now. Your partnership can be healing of some sort. They can be some very good development coming in their romantic life or their relationship. Libras that have been in a stagnant relationships that are unhappy about it, Jupiter can liberate and free you. Sometimes I've seen divorces with Jupiter in the 7th house, but they're like, breath of fresh air. The person feels it's not like, oh, why? No, it's like, oh, finally, finally. And then new opportunities open yourself relationally. Also, Jupiter in the 7th house can mean something good is happening in the life of your partner, business or personal partner. They can have some new ideas that are beneficial for both of you. They can have a new chapter in their life, something big that they're working on over the next 4 or 5 months that influences you beneficially as well, that inspires you. Also, inspiration can come to you from others, so be open to others, open yourself. Don't close yourself. You see, Venus in the 3rd house says, open yourself to new friendships, acquaintances. Something good will come. Jupiter in the 7th says, oh, open yourself to new partners, to people that will expand your mind. Such will come that are beneficial. Maybe new contracts, new agreements. Can be very good time the whole next 5 months to sign contracts and agreements. Maybe Mercury goes retrograde from 29th of December to the 18th of January. Rethink those things, but with Jupiter in the 7th house, whatever contracts or business partnerships you do, they'll go well. They'll bring even more wealth, prosperity. People often expand their clientele. People often, if you have a business, the 7th house is your clients. So they can expand overnight their sales or opportunities to connect to more people. The popularity, if you have some figures, 7th house is the audience. Jupiter can expand it. Your sales abilities, your connection abilities with others. You become more aware how others can be helpful to you and useful, and you welcome such help. So that will be great. It will come to you from others. Some people might get married. Some people can take relationship to the next stage. But good things come to you from others. And Libra naturally likes it this way because it's Libra. And some kind of a new renaissance period in your relationships, maybe. If you're married already, you can improve your marriage. If you're married, not happy, you can fall in love with someone. I don't know. All right. Then another big event is that Mercury is becoming visible in your 4th house around the middle of the month for around 10-15 days. Might be good for some of you. That can be something new happening with place of living this December. Mercury being born in the 4th house. Something new happening with family, something important there, important communication, information, something new happening and important connected to property, place of living, all such kind of stuff. Not in a negative way. And then when Mercury starts becoming invisible from the 25th, 26th of December and retrograde from the 29th of December, there is some important decisions you'll be taking in regards to your family, place of living, or rethinking, researching something. So till the 25th, things go really well when it comes to property, place, family, home, such more personal matters. And after that, things might get a bit more complicated till the middle of January and might require more extra efforts with retrograde Mercury, more research of some sort, changing the plans and so on. Maybe they can be a bit of an escalation of a situation with family and family members, but there is a lot of focus there, and a lot of good can come out of you because your focus is there. You can do a lot of things. It's so true. I mean, when I'm just looking at my husband's chart, we're going back to an old place we used to live, and we're gonna try and rent something new and everything with property and find the kids. 4th house is family, the children, parenting. So we'll be doing a lot of that in December and January, especially in January, trying to find them places to go and so on. Funny. Now, correct astrologies. Well, there you go, guys. This is Libra. Don't forget the biggest event is, Venus and Jupiter are the two great things I hope you'd enjoy a lot. All right, so then it's Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Scorpio, Venus is becoming visible, is being born in your second house. This happens very rarely. Last time maybe happened 8 years ago, something like that. Well, Venus now born in your second house of finances, and Venus is a planet of money as well. So some of you from the beginning of December, they can give birth to new beginnings, like new ideas for something, for money, how to make more money. Some of you might have like a renewed self-worth. Like suddenly you can wake up and say, I'm worth more, I should put up my prices. Or I'm worth more, I should not let them, especially because Venus rules your relationships. There's like a renewal and improvement of your self-worth, which impacts and reflects on your relationships, who you collaborate with, who you take as your clients, or who you take in your bed and as partner. Seventh house rules all of those things. So some kind of a renewed self-esteem, self-worth, the second house is how you value yourself, can impact directly also your relationships and how much money you make consequently, because it's in the second house. For others, it can be the birth of Venus. The second house rules the face and the lower teeth. So if you want to do anything, beauty procedures on your face to beautify you, now is the time. And it will go out well. The beginning of December is great for them. Renewal, care, whatever, anything to beautify yourself is great. For others, Venus being born in your second house can indicate something valuable coming to you, something valuable that you attract, maybe better clothes, the right piece of furniture, the right piece of art that you find, the right piece of resources for your business, the right materials for your business, and that it comes to you with ease and something it's kind of helped. Also, some of you might get a great idea or opportunity offered to you from another, because Venus rules the seventh house and the second house, about what to do with your money, how to make your money, or about some investment. I think that will be good. Like, stay with this, because Venus is a positive influence, is being born in your second house. Then some improved circumstances and more security, some improved circumstances for self-sustenance, to be self-reliant, a birth of such opportunities, and opportunities for more security in your life that will be born. Mercury will also become visible, but let me first go. The next thing is that there will be full moon with Mars and Mars rules you, don't forget, in your 8th house. Here you are. So doesn't directly affect you, but 8th house is pretty dynamic house, brings sudden reversal and changes. It's happening on the 7th, 8th of December. So there might be some surprising news or information. It's in Gemini that brings some kind of a reversal suddenly in life. There can be a bit shocking information that comes. Life, death, 8th house rules all of those, death and rebirth. Maybe some secret information, because 8th house is hidden information that comes to you, that surprises you, that makes you take some decision, that is kind of puts you into action of some sort. And it might be connected to something from the past, because Mars is retrograde, and that something about intimacy, about the past that you receive, that you have to, have to rework something there. It might be a good time to there can be like a cathartic release of pent-up traumatic feelings and emotions. So it might be like a very intense period if you're working with a psychologist, or even if you're not, maybe with an astrologer or an occultist, or your own psychological realizations can be so powerful with this full moon. And Mars is like a penetrating intervention that you do on yourself psychologically of some sort, and a breakthrough and some deep realization about your motivations and actions, that it can have like a cathartic impulse. It might even trigger some kind of a crisis on a physical level or psychological level. That is short-lived, but that can release a lot of built-up pain and you can have a deep realization of why you've been acting certain ways, or what has been the thorn, you know, the invisible thorn that's been poisoning your blood type of thing. So there might be some kind of an elimination that's happening, kind of a purging with this full moon, and liberation, feeling free. 8th house is a moksha house, of being freed from what? From the emotional burdens that we carry. And there will be some mental realization that happens to you, maybe triggered through information, or just suddenly like self-awareness, or reading a book of something that triggers that. Plus 8th house is taboo topics. You might be involved around that time with something more forbidden, more intense topics, some kind of a power struggle, so discussing mine versus yours with another, and also intimacy. They can be the 8th house, very much connected about sex, intimacy, connecting with that on an intimate level. There can be some important development around that time. Just be a bit more careful with mutual finances and resources. There might be some surprising news there. It's like, don't take risks, new risks financial, when it comes where you invest your money with your partner, or, you know, if it's mutual money in particular, especially 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th of December, after this full moon eclipse. All right. So then the other big event is that there'll be a lot of planets triggering your first or second house. We talked a little bit about that with Venus. Then the 3rd house. The more the month progresses, the more communicative you become. The month becomes busier. You're meeting more people. There is more like small meetings, so you're more online. You're more like communicating with others, scrolling, reading, watching news. Your mind is extra stimulated. And it's good. It's not a bad thing at all. Mercury is becoming visible. It's being born in your 3rd house, or maybe some new commercial business project can be born for you. Some new acquaintance can appear in your life. Some new work project that can appear this month that requires writing, speaking, communication, using your mind, your skills, marketing, advertising, internet, social media. Maybe you might be buying a new car, or new communication devices. 3rd house rules all of those things with Mercury being born or you might be working on a new contract, new media project, writing, speaking, and so on. But a business project or transactions of any sort, but try to get it finished by the 25th of December, because after that Mercury turns direct, starts turning retrograde on the 29th. Already from the 25th it becomes invisible, then it turns retrograde. So try and finish all Mercury work that is new, or if you want to bring out something to the public, writing, speaking, so on, do it till the 25th, because after that Mercury is not so positive anymore, and it's more difficult. After that, it's time to fix things, communications, things from the past to talk about, things that you haven't brought up to discuss, to connect with people from the past, siblings, relatives, friends from the past after the 25th, because Mercury goes retrograde. And it's normal around Christmas, people get in touch with people from the past. Or some projects from before might have to be reworked and fixed, or you have to be working behind the scenes on certain details to correct and fix after the 26th, 27th of December onwards. And then the other big event is that Jupiter is changing signs. It's moving from your 5th house, where it was for a couple of months, into your 6th house. It's going to stay there till the middle of the month of May. Very rare opportunity to expand your work, for example. Wherever Jupiter goes, things are positive there. And it's going into your 6th house of work. So they can be already from the 21st of December onwards to May, maybe not immediately for all of you. Some of you it will come in February, others in March, others in April. Depends on your horoscope, but it will come. Something 6th house positive. It might be, for example, an improved job, a better job, a new job, expansion of your business if you have your own business, hiring more employees, better employees. Jupiter, 6th house rules all of those things. 6th house is your health how you take care of it, more knowledge and understanding about your health. Maybe finding exactly the right supplements that you need, or maybe finding exactly, maybe you've been trying all types of different diets, keto, paleo, whatever, and now you come across exactly over the next 4 or 5 months of the right diet for you. Jupiter brings you intuition and aligns you to the right answers, the wisdom. Jupiter is divine wisdom, angelic wisdom. So you guys will direct you to the right course of treatment health-wise. My husband just had Jupiter in the 6th house, and he finally came across the right supplements for his stomach issues. As a cancer, he has a lot of those. And he found how to regulate his anxiety and so on with the right healthy foods and supplements. So a right treatment can come for some of you. More interest and desire to be healthy. Of course, sometimes Jupiter can escalate health problems, can expand, because Jupiter is multiple, gives more in the 6th house there. So, but it will kind of direct you, like with my husband, first his health problems with the guts, especially the 6th house, his guts, gut health and so on, can get worse if you have such inclination. So after that, you can take the right steps to improve those health issues, and Jupiter gives you the right answers as well. And you might find yourself, overcoming certain addictive or unhealthy habits more easily, because Jupiter gives ease with that. 6th house is also helping of those in need, people that are in service careers, doctors, lawyers that are in situations, especially where people in some kind of disharmony or imbalance, doctors, sick people, lawyers, people that are fighting, police, military. There can be growth in your career, any service careers or social services of some sort. There can be growth, expansion, promotion of some sort, and so on. And even others who are not in such careers might find themselves feeling they want to be more helpful to others, and they will be. And they don't like to just sit uselessly. They would like to be useful in some way. They would like to do something productive. You start finding joy. Jupiter is joy. Wherever Jupiter goes, will feel joy internally. In this case, by being useful, by helping others, by, as I said, for others might be finding a job that's right for them, that's more meaningful. Starting from the end of December, but again, don't take my word, on the 21st of December, all of this will happen. So you have 5 months ahead for that. So there you go. These are the most important things for your Scorpios. Quite nice. Especially good influences in practical areas of life from Venus, after that from Jupiter, 2nd and 6th house. All right, now if you're Sagittarius, the month starts, a very important month for you, very beneficial. The month starts with a full moon. Let's start with Venus. Venus is being born and becoming visible in your sign. That's a very rare event. That's considered astrologically the most beautiful event to watch in the sky. And actually, ancient astrologers said the most powerful moment is when the sun rises, when Venus rises, and when Sirius rises. The most spiritual, the most good things happen. Venus rises once every 18 months. The sun rises every day, but Venus is one of the rarest of the 3 events. Once every 13 months, it becomes visible for the first time and is born as Aphrodite. This is what's happening now. It was invisible for about 3 months. There was more discord in the universe, less zen, because Venus is calming, soothing influence that makes us feel calmer. Well, now when Venus is reborn in your sign, guess what will happen? From the beginning, from the end of November already, and in the beginning, the first 10 days of December, you might feel more, first of all, more beautiful. You can, Venusian things can be born into your life. For some of you, it might be love. For others, can be some beauty routine. For others, might be something that they consider very valuable and attractive, more luxury in their life, pleasant things. Venus is everything that we love that comes to us from us externally, that makes us happy externally. It can be money, good clothes, good food, relationships, feeling loved, It's not the sense of self-satisfaction that you get without the need of something. It's what the world can give you that makes you happy, that you think you need. Well, Venus can give you that. They can be the birth of something new that brings you this kind of external happiness to you. And because Venus rules your sixth house, for some of you, it might be a pet that comes into your life, might be a new job. Again, you see the theme here. Sorry, that was for a different reason. So there is like a new job that can come to you that brings you more meaning and makes you happy. There can be a new health routine and beautifying routine, because the sixth house rules routines. Venus is beauty that makes you more attractive as well. Venus also rules your 11th house. There can be a friendship or a social event or long-term goal and project that is born into your life that you personally take initiative into. So you might, for example, start planning some get-together with friends, or you might start planning some big projects to make more money, because the 11th house is gains, is recognition, or you might be inspired into some action which Venus forms, which puts you in the public, publicly to be more visible as the ruler of 11, to make more money, to be recognized, so some long-term goal or project which will be doing over the next 18 months. So something is being born there, something good. Or if you're being invited to some social event, do go there. It's good. Venus, especially the first 10 days, Venus gets, you know, the birth of Venus in your first house. Anything else Venusian can be born into your house. More beauty, more agreement, something Venusian, which is relationships for some of you, definitely. The birth of a new relationships that is important, or new friendship with a woman, or the birth of something Venusian, some creative project that is connected to art, to beauty, to design of some sort, to decoration of some sort. You might be in very much such a mode of being more music in your life, more good food and celebrations. It's in Sagittarius, of course, it's celebration. Something that makes you more enthusiastic as well. So the month starts good. Then there is a full moon. It's a little bit more stressful around the 7th, 8th, 9th. You have to be a bit more careful. And the following days after that, because the full moon has an effect for a couple of weeks. It's in your 7th house. Well, you can be challenged a little bit by another person. They can be focused around those days, 7, 8, 9, 8, 9, 10, especially. Sorry. There can be some confrontation with another because it's Mars. Someone might be pushing your buttons, so challenging you in some way. Of course, hopefully Venus still giving you that grace. It's still the 11th in your sign, so you would react more graciously without shooting the messenger or whatever. But also it can indicate that there can be some escalation of a relationship problem that has to be dealt with, or partnership, business partnership. It's not necessarily just personal relationship that you need to address, that will require you to focus and to think more strategically rather than shoot immediately and rather than act impulsive, because Mars is retrograde. Consider carefully your steps, but also it can lead you, this full moon, to really decide to remove some people from your life. Special person, might be one specific person, it might be a business partner, it might be ending of some contract, or it might be removing of some business partnership, or certain clients that you want to cut connection with, or certain friend, even in 7th house is other people, or even a chunk of clientele, that there is some situation you have to address there. If it's not about removing them, it's not about ending it, it's about you're rethinking, do I want those people in my life, or even other people's calling you out on something you've done, and that's creating the situation. Again, what serves you the best? Venus is in your sign, diplomacy, being sweet, you know, and being kinder. That's, if you want to resolve this issue fast with the full moon in your 7th house, that's your strategy to act. If you start to, oh, sorry, I scared the dove. It was here and I did this, you see. Don't do this, you scare people, make it worse. But then also they can have positive influence, this full moon. It can mean that you're very involved at that time in something important you're doing together with another, some important decision you're taking with another that asks you for quick action. It can mean the escalation of a relationships to a next level that happens fast. Might be triggered by some kind of argument that actually gets solved and takes the relationships to the next level. So it's not necessarily breaking up a relationship. It can be taking relationship and even some confrontational situation that leads you to a better relationship and improving it. So yeah, but just remember, you'd be more reactive around those days of the full moon, especially those that are around, I would say, from 10 to 20 degrees Sagittarius. Be careful, especially 16 degrees there, not to speak. Something very important is happening. More stress, they can feel emotionally more reactive, but others are triggering you in some way. But you also take stock of the last 6 months very, very often, or something you've been doing for a while, a year and a half, 2, and you see what is not working and you start correcting it. Because full moons are about that. Oh, okay, something comes to a fruition, gives its result. So, but because Mars is retrograde there, we're seeing, okay, something needs to be fixed to become even better. Or, it's so crap, I have to put the end to this. But usually full moons are when a person can be very productive, sees the results of their actions, and reaps it. So don't worry, it's not necessarily, it's just because it's Mars is involved, there might be the need for quick action, for more adaptation, to change something very quickly. But some big awareness and realizations will come to you, like, and often that's full moons in the opposite sign for me, often very, especially important time when it comes to relationships. So definitely you will, when it comes to relationships, you'd see the truth there about something. There'll be some important conversations and some important decisions that you do. All right. And then the other big event is that Jupiter is moving into Aries. Great news, Sagittarius. I mean, first of all, Venus protects you, being born in your sign. And then from around the 20th of June, Venus has moved from your sign already, goes into your second house. But Jupiter moves into your 5th house. This is fantastic. You're protected till the middle of May 2023. When Jupiter makes trine to a sign, when Jupiter makes trine to a sign, this is, I'm not sure if you're seeing it correctly, but it's going to be in your 5th house. Maybe like that, I have to show it, yeah? It's keeping the trine. Jupiter is the great benefic, protecting you till the May 17th, 2023. So whatever you do, you're fine, guys. You have your planet is looking at you, it's taking care of you. But Jupiter in the 5th house is great for after the 21st. Some Sagittarius will feel it immediately. The early born Sagittarius, others, the later born, might take them a few months till May, or maybe in December, maybe in January, February, March, April, May, have to May, April, but you will definitely feel the influence of Jupiter in the 5th house, which is all about giving you new inspiration, discovering new talents and new passions that you really love. Doing some project, might be business or personal, but it's your own idea, and it will help you unfold it, or it will help you get a perfect idea, a great idea. Some of the best ideas I got was when Jupiter was in my 5th house, and I've been working many years to make it happen, actually, but that's when I jotted them all down, and that was many years ago. That was 10 years ago, something like that. And when I did, those ideas that came to me, I'm still working on implementing them. So now it's important to write down what comes to you as an idea. It's divinely inspired. You're in the flow. Doing something creatively is amazing. You're discovering new hobbies, new interests, new talents that you have. I discovered my talent of making videos then And being entertaining. I was not only making videos, I became entertaining and fun rather than monotonous. I still touch my hair all the time, but you kind of this creativity, this expressionism, this self-expression comes. So if you're in anything creative, wow, guys, you can become famous now. You can really take it up a notch, or you can start taking drama classes, even if you're not creative. It will come naturally to you. So do something, some hobbies that you enjoy. Aries is about sport. You can find out now some sport that you really love. Even the most sedentary Sag can feel inspired to do something that they won't do it to lose weight. They'll do it because they really are enjoying it. And Jupiter in the 5th house can bring love, falling in love, getting pregnant, but falling in love with life again. 5th house is the house that makes us feel connected and makes us feel in the flow and happy like a child. So you either find something that makes you happy and you enjoy so much, might be hobby or whatever, and you're having more fun for the next 5 months. Oh my God. Sagittarius is the other sign that's going to have a lot of fun this Christmas time, because Jupiter is in the 5th house. How rare is that? And the life of the party, enjoying themselves. Of course, Jupiter in the 5th house can make you're already quite bohemian, overly indulging and having fun and so on. But you get in touch with the child in you. There are healthy ways to indulge and to have fun as well. Doesn't not necessarily involve, the healthy ways. But fun, enjoyment, more glamour, more glitz in your life. 5th house is very much like a celebrity house, glitz fashion house, more of those things. And if you're in any business that's connected to creativity, fashion, glitz, celebrity, entertainment, anything where you have to entertain or present or even teaching. 5th house is one of the houses of students, of teachers. Teachers have to put themselves in the spot. It can go great. It can be great that you feel inspired to study and learn. Jupiter always does that when it makes a trine to your sign for the next 5 months. Great to fall in love. Great to get pregnant even. If you've always wanted a child, maybe Jupiter enters Aries, it might come. Even if you don't want, it can come. All right, so a lot of those, and confidence improves. You become luckier. It's just in everything. If you want to expand business, whatever you want to do it while Jupiter is another fire sign. It will, if you don't remember anything from this video, just remember what I talked about Jupiter in the 5th house, that after December 2021, opportunities are coming to you in a positive way, and embrace them. And then towards the end of the month, Mercury starts becoming retrograde. There is a big focus the second part of the month in your 2nd house about finances, security. Maybe some financial idea can come to you in the middle of the month, some new developments, because Mercury becomes visible, Venus is there as well, some new developments. But then towards the end of the month, Mercury starts getting retrograde and it becomes invisible. So after the 25th, 26th, try not to do new financial decisions or important ones. If you're doing anything important, you'll be really helped to do it till the 25th. If you're moving money from one place to another or investing in something, do it till then, because after that, the planets become more difficult and you might have some complications. So after the 25th, 6th, when Mercury starts becoming retrograde, you might have to rethink your budget, your finances, rethink certain investments, rethink certain behaviors and replan, financially, and even rethink on your value. Why are you valuing yourself a certain way? Maybe you'd see it from a different perspective, that your value is different. And 2nd house can be when Mercury starts going retrograde, making some changes or redoing something connected with your possessions, with your valuables, maybe throwing out or giving life to old ones that you haven't used, or something like, such kind of direction. All right, so that's about Sagittarius. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. The month starts with Venus becoming visible in your 12th house. Mystery house, but wherever Venus is born, it's the most beautiful. phenomenon astrologically to Venus to rise heliacally. Something new will be born in your life, and it's happening to be in your 12th house. So the new thing that might be born in your life might be some private romantic thing, some kind of that's something that's a bit more secret and private. And sometimes it's that like some crush on someone in the most extreme case, or it might be that it gives you some. Venus usually tends to give something lovely, something nice, a holiday abroad. And by the way, Venus opens a cycle of 18 months while it becomes visible in your first house. Maybe over the next 18 months, you have a chance to travel more to far away or exotic places. But already from December, if you want to travel somewhere, great. Especially to a foreign country or faraway place, Venus is in your 12th house, allowing you, and Venus is being born, is the most powerful. Plus, there can be some romantic developments because Venus rules your 5th house of romance and love in the 12th house, something secret, private, or in a faraway country, maybe something romantically appearing in your life with someone from a different culture, someone that is secret, someone from a faraway place, or another thing, this can be that your romantic life gets a rehaul in the bedroom. 12th house is the bedroom. It also rules intimacy, what you do in the bedroom. So hopefully Venus being born there for some of you can mean that. For others, what else does Venus rule for you? Venus rules your 10th house. Maybe something connected to your career, especially careers that are more imaginative. You can get more inspiration and give birth to some inspiration. Like if someone is in writing music or graphic design or anything that is where you have to spend time in isolation creating something, you'll get such inspirations now. It can be the birth of such new ideas. Anyone who is in hospital careers, in psychology careers, they can be the birth of new projects, new inspirations, new financial opportunities there. Because 12th house rules psychology, the cinema, anything that is creative. Again, as I said, behind the scenes, but you are the creative, or anything that is about helping those in need. People working in hospitals, people working in hotel industry as well, people working with those in need in any way. People working in spiritual fields, whether it's astrology or psychology for the soul, they can be the birth of some, interest in such topics, more mystical, more spiritual, and even healing of something. Venus is a very healing influence. She is the nurse. So healing of some kind of a soul pain that comes for you Capricorns. On a more mundane level, it means that you're spending more on vices and hidden pleasures. Take it as you want. Or it's just 12th house, spending Venus there, but you have the money to spend and you'd enjoy it somehow because it's Venus. And it's also indulging in, there's indulging in hidden, or it's kind of things privately. Whatever it is, Venus will allow you to do more of it. Is it good? Is it bad? It doesn't have to be a vice. It might be something that it's really good for your soul. Some of it might be the birth of a new meditation practice. Even high vibrational people have certain vices. With Venus born there, hopefully there can be some release or liberation from that, and the birth of more wholesome and natural, such kind of a release practices, because the 12th house is about escaping the mundane, escaping the responsibilities. We all need such time. 12th house is where we sleep. It's going away to foreign countries, it's not working, it's resting, is whatever you do to take off the pressure. Some might masturbate, some might drink, some might go for walks, some might watch TV and binge. These are all 12th house activities. Venus says, okay, give you a new one, maybe more holistic one like that, or allow you to indulge in such ones. All right, but then gradually the planets start moving into your sign, so you start feeling more and more positive, and but first of all, there is a full moon happening in your on the 7th, 8th of December, happening in your 6th house. Well, It doesn't directly affect you, but they can be around the times 7, 8, 9, 10, some kind of a crisis health for some of you, health crisis. That's something that comes acutely, intensely, because it's Mars, comes fast, goes fast, temperature related, rash related, accident related, inflammation related. Just to be careful, just be aware about that. Plus, sixth house is your work environment. There can be some stressful situation around that, maybe some project that you have to finish, that you're under pressure, that is with a deadline, go a little bit, or maybe some kind of confrontation with an employee or someone that you work with that you have to fix, that you have to correct in some way because Mars is retrograde. Maybe some project that you've been working on that you see now what has to be corrected and fixed. Mars is retrograde and you get to work to fix it. This is what this full moon can trigger for you. Or maybe some health issue that makes you aware of, wow, I have to correct my health habits. Wow, I need to really rethink my health habits and make a plan how to, because probably 90% of our health issues comes from our habits and how we live our life, which is the sixth house. So you might be asked to make some radical choices and decisions in regards to your health, how you eat and so on, and what you exercise. On a positive level, this full moon this full moon with Mars can indicate that you are completing some work project and it might be, you might be asked to hurry up or to fix something, which is Mars energy. And you might be seeing the results of that, or maybe something important development about work, employment, and debt of some sort, or some problem situation that is, especially sixth house also rules if there is some kind of animosity, court cases, and such things. There might be some important pivotal turning point around that time with this full moon. All right. Hopefully for the better. Then the other big event is that Mercury is becoming visible in Capricorn. Yes, in your sign, guys. Fantastic. So this month, if Capricorn feels one thing really strongly, it will be this Mercury, because Mercury is doing a lot of things in Capricorn this month. For the beginning, from after the 7th, 8th to around the 25th, it's going to be visible and direct, so it will be extremely powerful. So after the first week of the month, till Mercury becomes visible on the 15th, 14th, but a week before it starts becoming very strong. So from the 7th, 8th till the 25th, 26th of December, Mercury has your back. Anything mercurial, do it now. What is Mercury things? Mercury for you will be travel. I said Venus allows in the 12th house to travel, so it gives you the green light. Mercury rules your 9th house, becomes very powerful in your sign. Foreign travel, long distance travel, it's really good for any kind of education, taking courses, classes, exams. Really good. Mercury can allow you, if you're teaching someone, to put it out there, start a teaching course or whatever, do it while Mercury is direct and visible, to publish out something, to put something out there to be heard, to apply documents for residency or for visas abroad or for traveling of some sort, or arrange some legal papers and matters, because 9th house rules of those, all of those things that Mercury rules. Do those till the 25th. Also, Mercury rules your 6th house of work. So after this full moon, you see there's a lot of focus on the 6th house, something connected with work. First with the full moon, but then Mercury says that things will go well because it's visible, it's direct in your sign. So directly, you do something that's important about work, about responsibilities, duties, employees, and about your health as well, till the 25th, 26th. After that, Mercury starts turning retrograde in your sign. So, if you have to publish something, if you have to release something, announcements, marketing, advertising, articles that you have to publish. If you want to do something with business, launch something, do it while Mercury is visible in your sign and direct. After the 25th, 6th, take it a bit easier. Give yourself a break, or maybe do old things that you haven't completed when Mercury starts becoming retrograde. You might withdraw a little bit and do things. Then another important thing for you guys is that Jupiter is moving into Aries on the 21st. That's in your fourth house. I see that a lot of Capricorns, especially Capricorn rising or moon people, might buy a property. Not now in December, starting from December the 20th, 21st onwards till the end of May 2023. They might expand their family with another member. They might change place of living auspiciously. When Jupiter is in the fourth house, it allows everything fourth house to go well. So they can become parents, or they can improve their parenting, or they can learn a lot about their parenting. They can improve their relationships with family. They can find their family. Sometimes family is not just blood, people that they belong with. They can find a good flatmate, or they can find a great place to live in. I remember when Jupiter was in the fourth from my ascendant, from my moon, I got property. And then from my sun, when it was from the fourth, a similar thing happened. So who knows, you know, for some of you say buy land, or if you're in real estate, things will go well. You learn a lot about your roots. You can feel more connected to, let's say, to the four seasons, to nature with the fourth house. Find yourself more rooted, more grounded, emotionally happy. Jupiter in the fourth house gives emotional satisfaction, especially more time at home to spend. Any kind of renovation, expansions of homes can go well. Any kind of spending time more around family and your roots, getting answers and healing yourself in your emotional connections with your family and getting answers about such things can be really, really good for you now. But December is your month, guys, especially after, you know, you start feeling the good effects really well already from Mercury becoming visible in your sign from the middle of December. Venus is entering your sign from the 11th. So from the 11th onward, things start really getting good for Capricorns. Mercury will be there, Venus will be there. The two are moving very close together. Fantastic time for social activities, for business activities, for sales of any sort. These are both planets connected to business and money, to social activities. Absolutely. You know, you have silver tongue this month. You're charming, Venus. You know how to communicate. Mercury, especially till the 27th, 8th, before Mercury starts going retrograde, then you might have to put extra efforts in some kind of, you know, when Mercury goes retrograde in matters regarding communication and things from the past. But the most of the month, you know, you have a lot of support. There is a new moon in your sign as well on the 23rd. Right when the sun enters Capricorn, there is a new moon. So it means that for you, actually, this new moon happens right on the solstice, which defines the next 3 months by influence. So Capricorns, for the next 3 months, something new, really new that's coming. And it might be connected to family because Jupiter is making a square to this new moon. It might be connected to fortunate circumstances in your personal life, but also it might be connected, you're initiating something new yourself personally. There is a lot of free will for you this month, especially after the 20th onwards, because new ideas come to you and you take the steps towards those and you feel inspired. You're going to start feeling energized, vital, and you'll be one of the happiest signs this new year. And Christmas, oh, maybe Mercury starts going retrograde on the 29th. People from the past you can see, and Mercury is close to Venus at that time. So maybe some good, happy reconnections with people from the past in the last few days of December. People you haven't seen for a while. They might be lovers, they might be ex-friends, they might be people from your environment or whatever. Reconnect, revise, or speak about things from the past as well. So, but I think this is the month that you'll get a lot of inspirations, new beginnings with this new moon. You'll be inspired, actually quite optimistic even, because Jupiter will be squaring this new moon. You can get a lot of things done with work as well to around the, to around the 21st, to around the 20th, let's say. And when the new moon comes, then the focus changes on you, on the first house, so you shine, new beginnings for you. And That's it, guys. I think it's overall really powerful month for Capricorns. Really, really powerful. They don't feel, initially it might feel like you're more tired the first few, when the sun is still in your 12th house, Venus and Mercury. And then after the 10th, first Venus comes into your sign, makes all pleasures accessible to you and more attraction, more beauty. Then Mercury comes in your sign, making you, giving you access to better communications, better social interactions, giving you access to anything good about business, finances as well. And then the sun comes and really from the 21st, almost 22nd, 23rd, after the new moon, you feel renewed. And it's your time to shine for the next 30 days. Aquarius, sun, moon, rising. Venus becomes visible, rises heliacally. According to ancient astrology, that was the most important and most beautiful event of all the planets when they would rise and become visible. Venus was the most important, the most beneficial. Venus becomes visible, it's born in your 11th house from the beginning of the month. There might be new friendships that enter your life, of beneficial people that help you, and those people can be important for you, at least for the next Venus cycle, which is 18 months. They can be great new connections that you form, new friendships, or maybe a friend that helps you of some sort. The 11th house is popularity and the public. You can gain more public, more audience, more clients is the 11th house. You can, if you're someone who has a YouTube channel, whatever, you can grow. Venus can give you a gift of growing, attracting more followers or clients if you have your own business that are Venusian, that like you, that you like, that bring you money as well. Venus, the 11th house is popularity. There can be some kind of a reward as well. Venus can give the birth of some reward, or the 11th house is very much connected to bonuses, to gains financially. There can be the birth of a new idea that you develop over the next 18 months, even initially, that immediately that can give you some financial benefit, but usually it's the birth of something new and you work it the whole next 18 months of periods. Some long-term goal, dream or vision is the 11th house, long-term goals and dreams, some kind of gains, more social economic rewards to be more famous, to be more recognized, or some project that you can bring out on the surface. So if you've already been working on something, that can be the time now, this December, that you put it out to the public eye, the 11th house, or to be assessed. Or it can be the gift of some honor or title, like a PhD, or like the desire, the birth of a desire for you to study PhD, or take some, title on, or to get, it can give the birth of you to get involved with something socially, or social influence, some socially influential movement, or to get involved in politics, or to get involved in the society to change something, or some project that changed society. It can be the birth of some great love and passion in this direction, or some project that you think of yourself even, or that you want to involve with, that someone else has thought that is influential, project that will bring more money, that will put you out on the marketplace of exchange of goods and ideas, that will fulfill some dream of yours, so that will contribute to society in some way and in a beneficial way. So good luck, I hope. It can mean meeting up with friends, attending some social event that feels pleasant. This is the 11th house, other kind of meetings, making new friends, or new goal and dream popping up in your mind, more popularity, and so on. Then the other big event is that there is a full moon with Mars in your 5th house. That's a jolly fun house, and this full moon is quite on steroids. It's with Mars. It's directly trining Aquarius. So this full moon is not going to be so just stressful like for some other people. Just be careful, because the 5th house is your children. So there can be some spats or confrontations with children when they're more unruly around the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. where it calls you that in the next 14 days after the 7th, you have to be more involved with your children, more actively involved, because Mars is there to get things done with them in some way. And of course, there might be some revision of your relationship with them, or their behavior, changing of directions of plans, because Mars is retrograde. Plus, 5th house is lovers, romantic things. There can be some kind of a escalation there, some important decision that you take with this new moon, or focus there. Plus, Mars is loves being in the 5th house. It's quite rowdy there, jolly good times. So romantically, you can do something on this full moon that is exciting and that brings the sparkle back in the romantic relationships. Have fun of some sort, enjoy yourself, enjoyment, paint the town red, But of course, because Mars is present, be careful of some accidents or fighting as well, even when you're having fun and romantically. But otherwise, that can be very exhilarating. Also, it can be about putting focus on hobbies, having fun, holidays, and so on, and creative activities. For example, some of you, if you've been doing some creative project, you might be wrapping it up now, putting conclusion to it, and Mars is telling you there to, maybe something final touches, and maybe something is not right on this creative project or this business or this new website you're building, something that is your own baby, that you build yourself, that is your own ideas. You might have to correct something, and this full moon can show you exactly what needs to be fixed, to be completed and ended after that. But I think this full moon will bring a little bit more joviality into you, because it's in a house of happiness, of fun, of enjoyment. And definitely Aquarius need that. With Saturn in their sign, they've been a bit too serious, let's say. Or having to overcome some serious life matters and difficulties. For me, has been the health. You see, it hit my nervous system, so my breathing, it's not the lungs, it's my Aquarius rules the nervous system, so it's like a nervous system issues, thanks to one certain bioweapon released around us. But hopefully when Saturn moves out in March, I can breathe again and my nerves will calm down. But this month is overall quite good. And another big event that's happening is that Jupiter is entering our 3rd house and is going to be helping us, Aquarius. Actually, Jupiter was in our 3rd house for a little bit till October, from May to October, and it's going now again on the 21st of December. We'll stay there till May 2023. And so this is fantastic, hopefully to allow me to breathe happy again, because the 3rd house is the ones when it was there, I could breathe again, and now it's gone back to the 2nd house, but like definitely to make you feel like metaphorically, I can breathe again. And you're going to start feeling more positive mentally. 3rd house is your mind, how you think. Jupiter going there definitely gives you a positive twist of mind, more optimistic, starting to see opportunities around, starting to focus on more, you immediately in your immediate environment, noticing and connecting to what's around you. Plus, it makes you feel more in the present moment. The 3rd house is immediate, it's having immediate reactions to what's happening to you. And Jupiter makes you more connected to being here and now, and more interested in the world around you, what's happening around you. Oftentimes, we as Aquarius have the tendency to stay in their mind and a little bit too abstract, disconnected. Well, Jupiter will connect you to the immediate environment, make you get interested in what's happening around you, in people around you, make you become more social. So from the end of December, from 2021 onwards till May, you'll become more positive, more social, more connected. You'll build some really positive associations that are beneficial for you. Jupiter, of course, rules another social house, the 11th house, which is the house of rewards. So some kind of rewarding, even financially or materially, and psychologically, relationships that form, contacts that form, new skills that you learn, new interests. Oh my God, I started learning so many new things, and hobbies. 3rd house is hobbies. 3rd house is things that you do with your hands, things that you kind of waste time with it as well. But it's like skills that you develop. Look what I'm doing. I developed love for puzzles, for knitting. While Jupiter was in my third house, anything to do with the hands. And reading. I'm reading 3 books per week. 2 on audio book. The third house is learning, studying. So reading, studying, it will escalate the speed of information. It will be great time to learn something. It will be great time to make social media, to make websites. I did my first Astrolada website when Jupiter was in my third house. Now it's again the third house, and Astrolada 2.3 is coming. Well, what was it? 0.3 while Jupiter is still in the third house. So if you want to do websites, if you want to start businesses, Jupiter in the third house helps them. If you want to learn something, a new skill, it opens the doors for you. You'll see. If you want to make new friends as well, if you want to travel, good time to travel, to move, to make short trips. They would stimulate your mind. Your mind is very stimulated, it's very bright. You're on the ball. You notice immediate opportunities in the environment around you. But it gives you also the green light to travel long, short distances, to arrange papers and documents of any sort. They'll happen with these till May. And anything to do gives you a green light to buy cars, in electronic devices, communication devices, to open online businesses, and to do any kind of announcements, important, such kind of stuff. But it's something big. It's not just something small that Jupiter will allow you to do there. Learn, teach, study, So that's Jupiter. I really love Jupiter in the third house. Been feeling so good with it. Then so you see the full moon helps us. Venus becoming visible in the 11th house helps us, again, aspects us. Jupiter entering your third house helps us. A lot of great stuff. There is a lot of focus towards the end of the month in our 12th house. There will be a new moon happening in our 12th house. So after the 10th, 15th, maybe start taking it easier till around the 20th, let's say, of January. Maybe it's time to slow down after that, because planets start moving progressively into our 12th house. It's time to pay attention on unfinished business from the past, or to think about the past, so to take it easy, to rest more, to research. 12 houses, research, investigate, start acting again, actually taking steps to make some changes that with your own free will. To do the steps is around December, after January, the 20th onwards. And besides, Mars will turn direct then, Mercury will be direct then. Till then, after the middle of January, December for you, after the middle of December for you, it's time to take it more easy, to relax more. Sometimes when planets trigger our 12th house, there can be an escalation of hidden vices or addictive behaviors. But others, like such impulses can escalate. But for others, it might be just needing more time to spend alone and to shake off the energy of others, because you're more impressionable, more sensitive around that time. But at the same time, it's like you're spending time for your soul, sleeping, just kind of like adjustment period. It's not time yet to act, So there you go. I think that's the most important developments for you, Aquarius. A lot of support as well. Now, Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Rising, last but not least. The first big event is that Venus is becoming visible, is being born. A very important astrological event that actually says that whatever is born now can affect you positively for the next 18 months till the next Venus cycle begins in your 10th house of career and social status. So maybe for some Pisces, there will be the birth of a new career project, the opportunity to do something in your career which is seen, which is respected, and actually to improve your social image. Maybe some of you do some change, how you dress, how you look, to become more respected, more admired in some way. For others, it can just mean the birth of a new job, of a new career idea. the appearance of a new boss in their life who is benevolent, who is helping them. Maybe something benevolent and positive coming to them through an institution, which is the 10th house. Someone in power, reach out and you would receive help from someone in power. Maybe one of the parents, something good happening with one of the parents, but very good for your career. So if you have anything important to announce in your career, to launch, to start, or maybe a new idea will come, this is December for you guys. Do it, especially the first 10-15 days of December while Venus is still very strong, or even in November, you can do this again. Something will be born there and it's beneficial. All right. Then there'll be a full moon with Mars in your 4th house, especially the middle-born Pisces, those from 10 to 20 degrees, Sun, Moon, or Rising. 10 to 20 degrees might feel more triggered around the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th because of this full moon, which squares them. Maybe something in their family that's happening can put pressure on themselves and in their relationships. Maybe emotionally they feel more reactive and explosive. So you have to be a bit more careful around that time. But something important might be happening in your family with this full moon, with Mars, with property, with place of living. Some pivotal decision has to be taken. Maybe something that you're already familiar with, or something that already exists connected to property, home, family, or a family situation that comes back as Mars is retrograde, needs to be paid attention and addressed more, quickly and with more adaptability. It becomes a focus, but maybe for some of you, they're trying to buy or sell property, that might be a decisive period because this full moon triggers it, seeing the results of those actions, anything to do with property, place of living, with relocation as well, or something important happening with their parents, in their personal life of some sort. And plus, because Mars is retrograde, there can be a tension there, but there can be some crisis that they have to fix or improve or change something or react quickly on something that's coming to them from their family, or on maybe something from the past, or reconnecting with family from the past, something to be addressed again. All right, so that's one of the important periods that's a bit more stressful, while anything else seems to be better and better. After that, Venus starts moving into your 11th house, Mercury as well, and the Sun on the 23rd will move there and will make a new moon there. So progressively, the month becomes more and more about society, about being publicly visible. Even if you're someone who doesn't show their nose from their home, you might somehow interact socially online with others, or you might have, if you're someone who has a business, have a following of clients, you become more and more focused on those, how to reach out more clients, new ideas come to you because Mercury becomes visible in this 11th house. If you want to announce projects, if you want to announce new products, if you want to bring out to the public new products, Mercury visible in your 11th house, fantastic time. Do it around the 14, 15, 16, 17. And then Mercury becomes invisible on the 25th and retrograde on the 29th. So whatever you have to do with your business, or for popularity, or for money, or some goals and wishes and dreams that require your skills and communication and so on, do it till the 26th, 7th of December, the latest. Then Mercury becomes invisible. You might have to fix, edit something. And then towards the end of the month, Mercury goes retrograde in your 11th house, conjunct Venus. You might be connecting with some old friends you haven't seen for a while, bringing things from the past, talking about the past, or working on some long-term project or goal that you have to fix and correct. But things go really well and really smoothly with all kinds of social activity, friendships, long-term goals, projects, anything to do with gains, financial, economic, or popularity. It's a fantastic month for that till around the 25th, until Christmas, basically. And there is also this new moon in your 11th house, renewal, new ideas coming to you about new gainful goals or project, or new friendships coming, new groups that you join, new long-term goals and dreams, and new social economic projects of some sort. Or even maybe it might be just you invited somewhere by a group of friends, or you connect with a group of friends, so you're more gainful this month in some way. Okay, And then the last but not least is that Jupiter is going to leave your sign and it's going to enter your second house, guys. And here it's better to show. But it's the same. It's going to enter your second house where it's going to stay till May the 16th, 2023. Now, you have a time to, you have a opportunity to, maybe not immediately from December 21st when it enters, but gradually till May sometime in 2023 to expand financially. To sometimes, especially if it's your rising Pisces, I've seen people start making twice as much money. Also, there's usually more spending as well, though. Usually you can invest in something, and usually when Jupiter was in your sign, you came up with some idea, something new in your life, and then when Jupiter comes into the second house, it allows you to expand your resources, to build upon what you started, to find the right resources to build what you want, especially material resources, maybe to make right and wise investments, to learn a lot about money. But because you feel inspired and optimistic, you find the right teachers and knowledge, also to learn how mind can influence money, because Jupiter is mind over matter, of course, faith, mind. So kind of faith-based money expansion techniques, or reading of such material, or just finding the right knowledge of how to make money, grow money, and about your self-worth is going to be pivotal during this period. Plus, you become more adventurous on what foods to eat. You can get to own something that you've always wanted, something valuable, for example, something big. And it can be good to indulging and enjoying in the five senses. Collecting things is as well the second house. Toys, whoever dies with the most toys wins. Well, now you can collect quite a few toys because Jupiter, first of all, makes you more willing to spend, more like that, but also brings money to you. Plus, you're kind of very knowledgeable where to invest. So good luck for you. And you make money, or you come with new ideas to make money. Maybe something like, but you personally participate in that. Plus, Jupiter rules your 10th house and goes in the second, maybe because of your work, maybe improvement with your career brings more money in the next 5 months. Jupiter rules your 5th, or maybe the government gives you money, I don't know. But your kind of self-sufficiency becomes, you start believing that you're capable of more self-sufficiency. I just had Jupiter in my 2nd house as an Aquarius rising for a bit, and what it brought me didn't bring so much more money. It brought, like, I always make I mean, I don't know, I'm just blessed this one, I'm just brilliant at that. But I've never felt confidence that it will always come, because I was very poor for many years. I had poverty mentality, and I started first making money properly when Jupiter passed through my 2nd house 12 years ago. That's pretty much when I started my astrology business. So I've made money before, but for the first time I relied on myself, my own business. And for 12 years, what I started when Jupiter was in the 2nd house, I started my business. It grew dramatically over those 12 years. So you can start something financially now that it can be a source of income and growth of self-worth over the next 12 years. But I never felt secure that this will last even over those 12 years, because I come from a lot of poverty and poverty consciousness. And now when Jupiter entered my 12th house, 12 years of having money finally kind of consolidated, like I felt I'm secure in myself. Even if everything crashes, I lose everything, I have the resources and the talents that I can create it again. I'm never going to worry about money again, unless my health is bad, of course. And so that's what it can give to some of you, this confidence, this security in your self-esteem, in your self-belief. For others, it can be the start of making money that is totally conditioned on themselves and their actions. So you're not dependent on someone else. So it starts, and for the next 12 years, whatever you start financially now, it will bring you money. For others, it can be this improvement of the self-confidence and strength in themselves, that they can, this faith in themselves that they're resourceful enough to always do well. So it's a lot, takes a lot of pressure from your mind and peace of mind. So there you go, Pisces. Wherever Jupiter goes, you go. So this is your focus and growth will be a lot in that direction. But that's not just December. That was the last part, also the next 5 months, my prediction for you, which you can hear way more in depth in my 2023 video horoscopes. Do check them out. They're the best. I'm serious. We saw like 50,000 of those, or 50 over the last 5 years, 10,000. First was 4,000 or 5,000 per year. Now we're up to 12,000, 13,000 per year. So obviously people like that, right? So thank you so much. Have a great last month of 2023. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas, Hanukkah. And I love you all. This year will end up quite positively, optimistically. Bye. Bye.